Chapter 2701. Previously, Chen Shang had used 10 days to refine 500,000 Gumaidan. If he sold them all, he would be able to earn more than 200 million Dao crystal. When he returned to the Meijing store, the first thing he saw was that the Meijing store's door was rotten to the core. Chen Zhang's heart tensed up. He immediately rushed into the Meijing store, only to see more than 10 big-sized men surrounding Jiang Ximei and his group. These black-clothed men were all very familiar to Chen Shang, and he immediately recognized that they were people from the Black Tiger Stocketed village. What's going on? Chen Shang immediately rushed over and stood in front of the two sisters, his voice bringing with it a bone-piercing coldness. Jiang Ximei and Jiang Sijing's faces were ugly, and what was inside was also tattered and tattered. One could tell that they had attacked just now, but they were unable to defeat these big-sized fellows. Could it be that you are the alchemist who refined the Gumaidan? The black-clothed man in the lead laughed. Talking is fine, but before we start talking, I want to ask you all whether you made a move here or not. You were the ones who destroyed the door. Chen Shang was furious to the extreme. How could this Black Tiger Stocketed village be so bold as to directly attack him? He remembered that Jiang Ximei had spoken with the shops. If Black Tiger Stocketed village dared to come and cause trouble, the shops would definitely help, and Black Tiger Stocketed village was definitely aware of this, but they still came to make trouble, and it must be because of someone from the Black Tiger Stocketed village. That's right, we are only here for Jiang Ximei to discuss business, but she rejected us outside. Our Black Tiger Stocketed village is quite famous in the Myriad Dao city. To actually look down on us, in our anger, we could not control our emotions, and that would be rude. After entering, this woman did not bother to be reasonable and directly attacked us. We also did not injure them. Else, they would have already died. Chen Zhang's expression became colder and colder, but the big-sized man was not afraid at all. All of you need to be clear that our Black Tiger Stocketed village is prepared for you. Don't think that those shops will stand up for you. The man laughed. I'll just say it directly now, sell your Gumaidan to us, we 400 Dao crystal will buy one from you. Jiang Ximei sold them for 500 Dao crystal S to other stores, but this Black Tiger Stocketed village was actually bidding at 400. This caused Chen Shang to be even more furious in his heart. Don't go too far, I will give you a chance. Leave 100 myriad Dao crystals as compensation, or else I will fight to the end with you. Chen Shang said. Jiang Sijing pulled Chen Shang. They had exchanged blows with this group of people previously and knew that they were all very strong, but when Chen Shang had just stepped into the Tai Dao realm, they believed that Chen Zhang's strength was similar to theirs. Who are you, kid? The sons and grandsons of the 7 great villa masters and the high disciples of the leader S, you actually dared to say such arrogant words to our Black Tiger Stocketed village S. Quote. Let me tell you. Hurry up and sell it to us Gumaidan at a low price, otherwise, don't think about doing business here in the Myriad Dao city. Do you know who the backer of our Black Tiger Stocketed village's chief is? Chen Shang clenched his fist tightly, channeled the primitive Dao power in his body, and said in a deep voice, all I know is that the bastards of your Black Dog stronghold are all shameless dogs that can't get rid of their piss. With that said, Chen Shang took a step, and already appeared behind the big-sized man. The primitive Dao power that surged with incomparable rage, roared out angrily the moment it passed Chen Zhang's arm. The big-sized man never thought that Chen Shang would actually dare to make a move against him, and at such a fast speed. Just as he was about to dodge, Chen Zhang's fist had already struck his face. Boom! The shockwave was accompanied by a burst of intense fiery light as it exploded out. The scorching wave of flames made the Meijing store feel as if he was in a furnace. The leading man's face was smashed into pieces by Chen Shang, as though someone had ripped a piece of flesh off his face. This kind of berserk power caused everyone to tremble in fear. You, the big-sized man covered his face and shouted in pain. At this moment, he was completely confused. Chen Zhang's punch earlier was filled with anger. His primitive Dao power was not just any ordinary Dao power. Adding to the fact that all 10 of his profound gates were open, even the 4th or 5th stage of Tai Dao realm was not his opponent. Hurry up, the big man shouted in anger, cripple this kid. Just as he finished shouting, the ghost-like Chen Shang had already rushed to the back of the group and struck out his palm at the person behind the two. The berserk heaven-blasting palm's power, which carried the flaming force of an angry dragon, surged into the two people's bodies, shaking them and causing their chests to be ripped apart. Chen Zhang's shrinking step was extremely mysterious, moving as fast as teleportation. In the blink of an eye, it had already flashed past, and then, a fierce fist struck over. Although being hit by his fist wouldn't kill him, he would definitely be severely injured. Boom, boom, boom. In just a few blinks of an eye, the entire group of Black Tiger's stocketed village were severely injured by Chen Shang, and each one of them was thrown out of the window by Chen Shang. Chen Shang walked out, and ruthlessly trampled on the burly man leading the group. He then punched him again and again, covering his entire body, and beat the burly man until he was like minced meat. This is what I returned to you all along with the last time. When I go back, I need to tell your Black Tiger stocketed village's chief that if he doesn't bring the 1 billion Dao crystal, I will personally fetch his dog head. Chen Zhang's cold voice carried an extremely insolent might, scaring the group of people to the point they struggled to get up, dragging their leader who was like mud as they swiftly fled. Zhang Sijing was already dumbstruck, trembling in fear. She never thought that the normally gentle Chen Shang would actually be so terrifying when angered, and was even more impressed. She thought that Chen Shang was only capable of refining pills, and was not very strong. Mei, how many Gumai Dan have you sold? How many do you have right now? Chen Shang asked. I sold it for 30,000 crystals, that's 1,500 myriad Dao crystals. Zhang Sime said. Alright, come with me. Chen Shang immediately brought them to the store in Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Neither Tai Shangjin nor the 2 Tai clan elders left. Tai Shangjin saw that Chen Shang had arrived and laughed, "You're here already." Chen Shang nodded, took out 1,000 myriad Dao crystals and gave it to the 2 elders, and said, "Seniors, these are 1,000 myriad Dao crystals, but let me make it clear first, just now, I beat up that fellow from Black Tiger stocketed village." Quote. Afterwards, Chen Shang told them about the group of people who had attacked the Mei Jing store and how they had besieged him, making the 2 elders very angry. To think that a small Black Tiger stocketed village would be so arrogant. I would like to see who the backers of the village chief is. Don't worry, since we have accepted your Dao crystal, we will definitely protect you. Tai Bao received Chen Zhang's Dao crystal and said, "This book is from 17K, read the original content immediately." Chapter 2702. 10 million in a year, 100 million in 10 years, and he didn't even need to do anything. This was quite a high income, especially since these 2 elders didn't have much of a special background. In fact, there were many powerhouses and descendants who did not have any good methods to earn many Dao crystals. Hunting beasts were too tiring and dangerous, and refining pills was not something anyone could learn. Furthermore, it was tiring as well. Therefore, these 2 elders felt that accepting Chen Zhang's job was extremely worthwhile. How about this, we will go to the Mei Jing store today. If they come back to the Mei Jing store again in the future and cause trouble, we brothers will immediately capture them. At that time, you can do whatever you want. Tai Bo chuckled. Black Tiger stocketed village is also just a small force within the Western Tiger Mountain Villa, there's nothing to be afraid of. Just like this, Chen Shang and the 2 elders returned to the Mei Jing store. Now, Zhang Sijing and Zhang Sime also felt more at ease. The tyranny of the people of the Black Tiger stocketed village was already known to everyone in the Myriad Dao city. However, normally, they only dared to bully those who had no power, but now they were beaten up and thrown into the streets. This had never happened before. At this time, Chen Shang was busy tidying up the shop with Mei Jing sisters. The 2 elders had also wanted to help, but Chen Shang did not allow them to do so, allowing them to sit by the side and drink tea. Those shops that cooperate with you are truly unloyal. They just got scared and didn't dare to make a sound, HMPH. Chen Shang thought that this plan was very safe. I didn't expect that either. Sigh, things are unpredictable. Zhang Sime sighed. Speaking of which, we are in charge here now, you can sell the Gumaidan yourself. In any case, the shops that you are working with did not stand up at this critical time, and there is no longer a need to work with them. Tai Bo said, although those shops have the strength, if they were to join forces, they could still suppress Black Tiger stocketed village, and the one who supports Black Tiger stocketed village. They were afraid of trouble, that's why they did not make a move. I felt that they looked down on you guys in their hearts, and thought that even if you were bullied by the Black Tiger stocketed village, they would still look for you to do business in the future. Tai Bao also nodded and said, "Seniors, we will just sell the Gumaidan like this. Are we really not going to be bothered by other shops?" Zhang Sijing asked softly. "Little girl, although we are not the strongest here, but our parents have power in the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, and are considered top 10 experts, and have a lot of authority in the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. other than the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. If other powers knew that we were here, they would definitely not cause trouble, even if they had the power. If they provoked us, it would definitely be very troublesome. Chen Shang thought about it, also thinking that it would be great if he could sell it, he could earn more this way. Mei, we'll sell it ourselves from now on. Don't sell it to those guys. Chen Shang said. Jiang Ximei did not answer immediately, but was thinking instead. To guard the store every day and sell it to a lot of people is very troublesome. I do have a good style. Jiang Ximei smiled mysteriously. Tell me about it. Chen Shang was very curious. Jiang Ximei came in front of the two elders and smiled. Seniors, Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa should have many medicine shops in this myriad Dao city. According to what I know, these are all opened by different factions within the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Not bad, although these shops do not belong to the same person, their relationship is still good, and they are evenly distributed throughout the myriad Dao city. This is also to avoid competition and conflict. Tai Bao nodded his head, and laughed. Girl, don't tell me you want to sell all of your Gumaidan to our Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa's shops, that's fine. No, Jiang Ximei chuckled. I want to sell the Gumaidan to the two seniors. Our price is 500 Dao Crystal S per pellet, and the ones that are sold on the market is 700, or even 700 and 500, I can sell them to you too. Then, you two can add a few Dao Crystal S for sale to those shops, this way you can also earn a bit of difference in prices. Tai Bao and Tai Bo looked at each other, and suddenly felt that this idea was not bad. They knew that Chen Shang had a lot of pills, otherwise they would not be able to give them the 1,000 myriad Dao crystals. Furthermore, we can give you guys the goods first. Wait until you sell the Gumaidan S, then you can pay us. Jiang Ximei laughed. We have grown up, although we have done business before, we have never made a lot of money before. Little girl, tell us, if we help you sell your Gumaidan, how much can we earn? Tai Bao asked. That's too much, so much that you can't imagine, that's more than if you took 1,000 myriad Dao crystals in a year. Jiang Ximei laughed mischievously. Let me calculate for you guys, I now have around 500,000 Gumaidan in my hands. If you 500 Dao Crystal S are to sell them, if you add 100 to the price, you can earn 100 Dao Crystal per pellet, after which you can obtain 500,000 pellets, that would be 5,000 myriad Dao crystals. Quote. When the two Tai Bao elders heard about the 500,000 pills, they were shocked. They were very curious as to how Chen Shang had refined so many Gumaidan. There really are that many. Tai Bao did not dare believe it. If there really is that much, I will help you sell it right now and I will also return the 1,000 myriad Dao crystals that I took from you earlier. Jiang Ximei handed over a storage bag over to Tai Bao. When Tai Bao received it and took a look, he was immediately stunned. When Tai Bo looked at it, his expression was the same as Tai Bao's earlier. Alright, I'll sell it now, hee. Tai Bao was very happy, he could only earn so much, and that was only enough to let him make a few trips. He believed that the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa had the ability to eat that much. Before, Jiang Ximei did not even look for those large shops, because large shops were not easy to talk about. However, Tai Bao and the others were different, because they all said that the status of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa was very high. It was only when it was night time that Tai Bao returned with a smile on his face. It was obvious that his mood had improved by a few points. This is for you. 250 million. As expected, Tai Bao sold all of those Gumaidan, and then sold 500 Dao Crystal S to Chen Shang and the others, at the same time returning the 1,000 myriad Dao crystals. Old grandpa, how much did you sell it for? Zhang Sijing was extremely curious. I added 150, and sold 650 Dao Crystal S to them one pellet. In any case, I'm the only one selling them. Tai Bao laughed. This business is worth it, it's just one vote, but it's already more than what we earned in the past. Tai Bo had also gotten half of the profit, so the relationship between the two brothers were still very good. Tai Bao had increased by 150, so he had earned more than 70 million. Alright, we'll be partners from now on. If anyone dares to cause trouble for you, we'll definitely let them have a good time, said. Cooperation with Chen Shang and the others was much more worthwhile than charging them protection fees. At this moment, loud noises came from outside. With a boom, the door that had just been repaired was smashed open again. The Black Tiger Stocketed Village's people had come. Chapter 2703. The Gumaidan in Tai Bao's hands were all sold to the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa's shops. The shops did not advertise that they were the two who were selling them, they only knew that it was a big shot inside the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, because he was selling a lot, it was just too shocking. In order to not cause a sensation, Tai Bao made those shops not to announce that they would eat so much, as long as they sold the Gumaidan like they did before. Therefore, the people of Black Tiger Stocketed Village did not know that Tai Bao had already started working with Chen Shang. You bunch of bastards, when you see the sworn brothers of our chief and chief, hurry up and greet them. A man with a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks shouted. Are you guys here to deliver the 100 myriad Dao crystals? Chen Shang asked. Like I said before, if I do not deliver the 100 myriad Dao crystals, I will take away the head of your village chief. I wonder if the chief of the village will bring over the 100 myriad Dao crystals or your own head. Chen Shang and the others saw the Black Tiger Stocketed Village's chief wearing a black cloak and armor. He was a middle-aged man with a big beard. Beside him was a slim middle-aged man wearing white clothes and holding a fan. Arrogant brat, do you know who our Black Tiger Stocketed Village's sworn brothers are? The monkey-like man sneered. He is the son of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa's internal affairs elder. Hearing this, Tai Bao immediately laughed out loud. I was wondering who it was the little bastard who was hired by Western Tiger Mountain Villa. What did you say? His father was the Western Tiger Mountain Villa's internal affairs elder and was indeed in charge of odd jobs. It would not be bad to call him a servant, but to the man, this form of address was filled with ridicule and humiliation. However, even if he is the son of an elder of Western Tiger Mountain Villa, I am not afraid. Honestly speaking, the Western Tiger Mountain Villa has become more and more useless in the recent years. To actually be able to depend on this kind of business to support his livelihood, it is truly laughable. Tai Bao continued to mock him. Old bastard, are you tired of living? You're courting death. The Black Tiger Stocketed Village's chief rushed forward, holding a long blade in his hand, but just as he entered the door, Tai Bao's eyes flashed, 2 rays of green light shot out, followed by a dragon's roar, and a ball of green light struck the Black Tiger Stocketed Village's chief's body, sending him flying. This is the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa's Green Dragon Law, a type of the Dragon Dao Law. You are people of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Those disciples of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa who understood the rules of the Dragon Way were not ordinary people. Those were people who obtained the legacies of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, people who were directly related to the people in charge of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Junior, consider yourself sensible, you have your eyes on the Gumaidan here, they can make profits for you, using forced selling methods. This method is extremely despicable, and before that, your Black Tiger Stocketed Village also stole the shops of these little ghosts. What do you think we should do with this account? Tai Bao walked to the front with his hands behind his back and said with a cold smile. Here are 100 myriad Dao crystals. The chief of the Black Tiger Stocketed Village took out 100 myriad Dao crystals hastily. Their Black Tiger Stocketed Village had been acting tyrannically for so long, but that was because they would never anger someone with power and influence. But this time, they didn't expect that Jiang Ximei, the little girl, would actually invite a direct disciple of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Little girl Ximei, tell me how should I deal with them? Tai Bao laughed. The Black Tiger Stocketed Village's chief had already taken our shop, and now he is here smashing everything up. This is not something that can be made up for with the help of Dao Crystal. If we cripple him, he will fall onto the Meijing store. Jiang Ximei said, then looked at the white-clothed man and said, if it wasn't for this guy supporting us from behind, Black Tiger Stocketed Village would not be so fierce. Compensate us with 1,000 myriad Dao crystals, or else we will end up like the chief. You, 10 million, that's too much. The white-robed middle-aged man's expression was extremely unsightly. If you don't give it, I'll kill you. If you want to live, it's the Dao crystal, you can't give it to me. Let your father send it over, we want to see how your father will react to the fact that you and the Black Tiger Stocketed Village did this. Tai Bao said. After bullying Chen Shang and the others over and over again, if Tai Bao and the others were to kill the middle-aged man, the Western Tiger Mountain Villa would not say anything. The Internal Affairs Elder was not an important person in the Western Tiger Mountain Villa, and his position was not high either. Just as the white-robed middle-aged man was hesitating, Tai Bao suddenly flashed and arrived beside the Black Tiger Stocketed Village's chief. At the same time, he threw out a few palm strikes, causing the chief to scream miserably. The chief of the stronghold had done all sorts of evil deeds. He had done this quite a few times. However, he had never expected it to happen to him. I do not have that many 500 myriad Dao crystals at the moment, give me a few days, I will definitely deliver it to you personally. The white-clothed middle-aged man took out 500 myriad Dao crystals and gave them to Jiang Ximei. No, you must stay here. God knows you will run up there. Tai Bo grabbed him. Just as the white-robed middle-aged man was in a difficult situation, a black-clothed elderly man walked over and handed over a storage bag to Tai Bo. There are 500 myriad Dao crystals inside. He should be able to leave now, right? This old man was the Western Tiger Mountain Villa's internal clan elder. When he heard that Tai Bao had sold a lot of Gumaidan to Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa's stores, he remembered that his son had allied with the Black Tiger Stocketed village to control the source of the Gumaidan. Then, he immediately rushed over. Take care of your son. If this was in our Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, you would also be punished. I never thought that the Western Tiger Mountain Villa would not fall to such a state. Even if Tai Bao faced the internal affairs elder, he was not afraid, because he had strength and reason. This matter was finally resolved, and the Black Tiger Stocketed village was dissolved in one night. The half-dead chief was hung on an iron shelf beside the entrance of the Meijing store. This matter was quickly known to the entire Myriad Dao city, especially to the shops that were cooperating with the Meijing store. They were all extremely regretful at the moment. If they were to report up high and let the forces behind them help the Meijing store through, perhaps they would be the only ones selling Gumaidan. Currently, all the Gumaidan were in the hands of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, and they were even being sold at a higher price. Tai Bao, together with Tai Bo, earned a lot of Dao crystal from the collaboration between them and the Meijing store. This matter was also known to the people of the other villas, and this matter also made Tai Bao and the two elders feel very face, because they had earned a few thousand myriad Dao crystals without using any strength at all. Not only did they earn money, they also obtained Gumaidan for the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. This made the elders and villas of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa have a whole new level of respect for them, and they secretly praised them. Chen Shang also had to work hard to concoct pills now. What he was preparing to do next was to buy rare law beads, and that was to make preparations to go to Myriad Dao Mausoleum in the future. Myriad Dao Mausoleum was extremely dangerous. If there were any laws of flying in space, there would be an additional safeguard for it. This book came from the 17K page, so the first thing he did was to look at the true contents of it. Chapter 2704. Chen Shang had isolated himself for 10 days, and had refined a few 100,000 Gumaidan. Right now, everyone in the Myriad Dao city knew just how effective Gumaidan was, and the demand for this kind of pill was quite large, so it could be sold for a while. After coming out, Jiang Ximei saw Chen Shang, and anxiously walked over, took out 2 storage bags and said, one of them is a death law beads, the other one is a reborn law beads, both have 10. Chen Shang took it and nodded, all right, I'll help you guys refine it soon. Afterwards, he also gave the Gumaidan to Jiang Ximei. Mei, go and investigate what pill the Tai Gao realm needs to grow faster. Chen Shang said. All right, Jiang Ximei was also doing his research everywhere these days. After all, this was a business, and he had to understand the market's needs. Right now, she had investigated that the Myriad Dao city still needed Gumaidan very much. There were many people in the Myriad Dao city, and there were also many powers outside the Myriad Dao city who needed Gumaidan very much. Consolidating cultivation channels was a headache for many people. Previously, Jiang Ximei had been troubled for a period of time, but after eating the Gumaidan, he was able to resolve it very quickly. Even if the current Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa offered a higher price, many people would still be willing to buy it. Chen Shang continued to close up, this time refining his law beads. Jiang Ximei wanted to cultivate the law of death. It was a type of code power that had a strong killing power. For a violent woman like Jiang Ximei, it wasn't strange for her to train in this code. 100,000 law beads required 10 million won pellets, and Jiang Ximei had only bought 10. After Chen Shang refined them with the crash method, 1 pellet was worth 3.5, so more than half of the 10 pellets were completed. Then came the law of regeneration, which was what Jiang Xijing wanted to cultivate. A few days later, Chen Shang had very successfully refined these law beads, and their effects had increased by several times. After he came out, Jiang Ximei and Jiang Xijing had also gone to refine the law beads, and in this period of time, she had also sold the Gumaidan to the 2 Tai clan elders. She gave all 205 million myriad Dao crystals to Chen Shang. But to buy those rare law beads, it was only enough to buy 3. Of course, this was extremely fast, because as long as he used the crash method to refine it, 30 pellets would be enough for him to cultivate up to the level of a rare rule Dao line. Seniors, it's not bad to get up. Chen Shang laughed. Of course, we are the big red man in the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa now, the Manor Lord thinks very highly of us. Tai Bo laughed. It's all thanks to you. Tai Bao said, they would visit here every day, and the Meijing store had also closed the door, opening it only to enter a small courtyard. Since they knew the relationship between the two elders and the Meijing store, no one from the other shops dared to come. Instead, they secretly sent a message to Jiang Ximei, wanting to cooperate with him, but was rejected by him. Oh right, is there anything going on with the Myriad Dao Mausoleum in this period of time? Chen Shang came here to take a look at the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Usually, he went inside the Myriad Dao Mausoleum at that time to investigate, and a lot of people would die every time he went there. Furthermore, the last time he went there, many strong warriors were trapped inside. My father was trapped inside for hundreds of years last time, and ran out when he opened it last time. Tai Bao said. The Myriad Dao Mausoleum does have some good stuff, but don't think too much about it. Usually only the top people would dare to go in, and his two brothers are only there to join in the fun. Tai Bo sighed. The last time it was opened, a strong cousin of ours died inside. So dangerous. Chen Shang never expected that, no wonder so many people planned to stay. This Myriad Dao Mausoleum is also very strange. Sometimes, it's very dangerous, and when you enter, you will die for no reason. Sometimes, you will also be very safe, and when you enter, you won't encounter any dangers. Tai Bao said in a low voice, this is a secret, no one else knows about this. What can I get? Chen Shang asked, is it a cultivation technique or something like that? So far, no one has ever obtained a cultivation method from inside, instead, they have obtained some rare law beads such as the space laws, the law of flight, the law of the dragon path, and so on. In addition, there are also the mysterious primal laws and the laws of creation. Tai Bao said in a low voice, my father had only obtained 2 primordial law beads. These divine steel doesn't have the ancient code of creation, but there are also the laws of heavenly refining and the laws of sword. These are all rather special and rare. Tai Bo added. This made Chen Shang even more curious. He had never heard of the existence of the heaven refining code before. Then how long will it take for it to open again? Chen Shang asked. It seems like it won't be long, but we don't know the specifics either. We'll go back to the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa to ask for it later, we'll see if the old guy in the villa can figure it out. Tai Bao said. Little brother, why are you asking this? You can't be thinking of going in, right? Tai Bo was a little curious. Haha, of course not. I just want to make some pills that will increase my cultivation level before we start. That way, more people will be able to improve their strength. Chen Shang laughed. That's not bad. Every time before Myriad Dao Mausoleum opens, all kinds of pills will rise sharply. Now, we really need to make preparations. Tai Bo laughed. After that, the 2 old men left to help Chen Shang find the exact time of opening the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Chen Shang returned to his room, took out the Emperor seal, and then entered it. He saw the green dragon. Senior Azure Dragon, have you heard of that Myriad Dao Mausoleum before? Chen Shang asked. This green dragon was the green dragon of the Divine Wasteland. Myriad Dao Mausoleum, this is a very scary place. It's very easy for people to lose themselves in it. The green dragon suddenly said. You know a lot about the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. I heard that there are a lot of good things you can get from entering. Chen Shang said, furthermore, the few Dao patriarchs that entered previously caused many of the supreme divine arts to be lost. Really, back then, I was once summoned by a mysterious voice to go search for this place. Before this, there were already many warriors who mysteriously went missing. The green dragon was suddenly very interested in the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Chen Shang told the green dragon the general situation of the Myriad Dao city. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, this villa sounds like it has something to do with me. Could it be that it was established by my disciples all those years ago? The Azure Dragon was very suspicious. Apart from me, the White Tiger, Black Tortoise and the Vermilion Bird should be in the Divine Wasteland. If there's no news about them, they might be here. This book came from 17K, so the first thing he did was to look at the original content. Chapter 2705. Chen Shang didn't want to look for them, because he didn't know if they were friends or foe. What he needed to do now was to earn Tao Crystal S and cultivate the spatial laws. This Emperor Seal was also one of Chen Zhang's killing moves, he would not use it so easily. Chen Shang left the Emperor Seal and took out the Chuangshi God Furnace. Right now, he was refining them into Tianyun Gold Dan S, so this was something that could cultivate spirit of the Tao gods and could be sold at an even higher price. Right now, I have to familiarize myself with refining Tianyun Gold Dan. If I want to earn billions to buy those law beads, just relying on Gumai Dan is not enough. Even if Chen Shang could refine law beads S, he would need several dozens of them. If he wanted to cultivate the spatial laws of the law of flight, he would need 30 of each, which would be equivalent to around 6 billion Tao crystal. In a single day, he had refined 10 batches of pills, and this speed was still too slow for him, but he was still familiar with the process, and it didn't matter if it was slow, as he could raise it in the future. Furthermore, when he was close to refining, he had controlled multiple pill furnaces and used the Dawen refining method. Most of the time, he could control 10,000 pill furnaces to practice true 10,000 refining techniques. As long as he had enough ingredients, he would be able to produce pills very quickly. For the past few days, Chen Shang had been refining this kind of Tianyun Gold Dan, and the speed also continued to increase. The faster he refined, the more he got familiar with this type of pill. Now let's see if I can control 100 pill furnaces at the same time. Chen Shang immediately released 100 magic method furnace, and then began to refine medicinal ingredients. Fortunately, with Zhang Sijing's heaven-defying laws of the earth, he was able to grow medicinal herbs quickly. Otherwise, if Chen Shang were to use the creation god's spring to cultivate it, it would be very difficult for him to keep up with his consumption. Therefore, he planned to help Zhang Sijing cultivate complete rebirth laws. Zhang Sijing would also need 20 more rebirth law beads S that had gone through impact refining. This was equivalent to 200 million Tao crystal, and it was also very easy. After half a day, Chen Shang had finally finished refining those 100 batches of Tianyun Gold Dan. There were 600 in each batch. Compared to the Gumai Dan, this speed was still very busy. When he refined Gumai Dan, he could refine 50,000 pills in a day. Looks like I'll have to continue practicing. I'll need 100 batches in 2 hours and 60 pills in one batch. Chen Shang had only just started using the Dawen refining method, so it was normal for him to slow down. If he put 10 of them in, the difficulty would be even greater. Furthermore, 10 sets of medicinal herbs would be refined in an hour, which was also very difficult. He would need to practice a great deal in order to slowly master this step by step. After a few days had passed, Chen Shang was now able to refine 20,000 Tianyun Gold Dan in one day. This was pretty good for him, and every time he finished refining, he would be exhausted and had done his best. Right now, he had 50,000 Tianyun Gold Dan in his hands, but he did not eat them. His current goal was to cultivate a spatial Tao vein. Because he couldn't use the power of space, he felt extremely insecure. When he walked out of the secret room, Zhang Sime and Zhang Sijing had also refined all of those law beads. How's the effect? Chen Shang asked. The effect is very good. 1 pill is equivalent to 4 pills. I will probably only need to eat another 15 pills. Zhang Sime laughed. At that time, if someone like the Black Tiger Stocketed Village comes looking for trouble with us, I can beat them down myself. Mei, this is for you, go and contact the 2 seniors to discuss the price of the Tianyun Gold Dan. I will be preparing to sell the Tianyun Gold Dan as the main force, I think many people need it, especially the Tai Dao realm. Chen Shang said. 50,000 pills. Did you refine it in a day? Zhang Sime asked. She already knew that Chen Zhang's pill refining speed was extremely terrifying. Of course not, I refined it in a few days, but the progress will be even faster in the future. With this pill, I think that it should be able to help a lot of Tai Dao realm cultivate to the peak in a short while. Chen Shang laughed. Of course, the effects of the Tianyun Gold Dan are extremely strong. As long as enough Tao crystal are bought and eaten, their cultivation will definitely increase by leaps and bounds. Zhang Sime said. Chen Shang looked at Zhang Sijing and said, Sijing, how are the medicinal herbs that I asked you to cultivate earlier? The planting conditions are quite good. Here, even if Zhang Sijing took out a few storage bags, they were all arranged by her, there were still tens of thousands. The cultivation speed of the Tianyun Gold Dan wasn't as fast as that of the Gumai Dan, because there were many types of herbs that needed to be grown. Although Zhang Sijing grew the plant fast enough, Chen Shang felt that it was still not enough. Sijing, how about this, you enter my divine sense sea and help me grow it. There's that water inside, and if you use that water to help me grow it, it should be very fast. Chen Shang said. All right, Zhang Sijing agreed without even thinking. To many people, entering someone else's divine sense sea was not safe at all. However, Zhang Sijing trusted Chen Shang a lot. After she entered Chen Zhang's divine sense sea, she was also praising the environment inside. She never thought that a man like Chen Shang would be able to make her own divine sense sea look so beautiful. Zhang Sime contacted the two Tai clan elders. Chen Shang entered the spacious underground secret room and continued refining the Tianyun gold dan below. There were tens of millions of people in the myriad Dao city, and amongst them, the number of Tai Dao realm S should be the most. Furthermore, the strength of the Tai Dao realm was not weak either. If the effects of the Tianyun gold dan could be spread, it would definitely sell very well. Chen Shang could refine 30,000 Tianyun gold dan each day the fastest, and sell one for 2,000. That would be 6,000 myriad Dao crystals, and his speed would still be fast. Try to reach the level of refining a Gumai Dan. Chen Shang only thought that way, but Tianyun gold Dan were higher rank than Gumai Dan after all, and they would need more medicinal ingredients so they couldn't be as fast as Gumai Dan. Sijing, with the help of the divine spring, how is your speed compared to before? Chen Shang asked. It's a lot faster than before. These divine springs are truly powerful. Zhang Sijing had already drank a lot before, so as to strengthen her own laws of the earth. If you were to cultivate a new rule Dao line, then you will definitely be able to grow medicinal ingredients even faster. Chen Shang Little Dong. MN, with elder brother Shen here, I can quickly cultivate it. Before, I didn't even dare to think about this, was extremely happy. Rare principle was a life's goal for the majority of people, but she was able to achieve it so quickly. Chen Shang refined until night, and walked out of the basement, wanting to give the 30,000 Tianyun gold dan pills to Zhang Sime. However, he did not see Zhang Sime here, but instead saw the two Tai clan elders. The Tianyun gold dan that the beautiful girl Sime brought with her today is not bad, she sold a lot of them in one go. I think her reputation will spread tonight. We'll add 200 to resell it. Tai Bao said. That's good then. The demand for this is much higher than the demand for Gumai Dan S. Chen Shang laughed. Right, the Myriad Dao Mausoleum still has 3 more years before it opens. It's very close, get ready. Tai Bo said. Afterwards, the two brothers left Mei Jing's store and returned. They said that Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa had something important to tell them during this time. Just as they were walking, an arrow flew in, tied with a note. Chen Shang opened it to look, and immediately he was enraged. Zhang Sime was taken away. The book came from 17K, so the first thing he did was to read the true contents. Chapter 2706. When Chen Shang finished reading the contents of the paper, his entire body was trembling in anger, and the paper was also burned to ashes by his anger. A guy like him must not be forgiven for encountering such a thing again. Just you wait, Chen Shang calmed himself down. The note stated that they could not tell anyone else or they would make their move against Zhang Sime. Even now, Chen Shang did not dare to go and find the two Tai sisters. I wonder who this guy is, and if he is someone from the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. I only have enemies like him here. Chen Shang calmly thought about it. On the paper slip, it said that if he were to leave the city alone and meet with that person on a designated mountain peak, and agree to their conditions, they would let Zhang Si go. Chen Shang not telling Zhang Sijing about this matter would make her very worried. Looks like I can only make a trip. Chen Shang changed his appearance and stealthily left the city. He did not want to be caught midway. Right now, Chen Zhang's plan was to first agree to the other party's conditions, no matter what they wanted, and then use any means possible to take revenge on him after he saved Zhang Sime. Late at night, the stars were obscured by thick clouds. The sky was dark and the wind was cold. Chen Shang came out of Myriad Dao City, and after traveling for 6 hours, he finally arrived at the peak of the mountain, which was also the place they had agreed to meet. After waiting patiently for over an hour, someone finally arrived. There were 4 people that had come. 2 of them were old men, and in the middle of the old man was a young man with an overbearing aura. It was obvious that he had an extraordinary background. The other one was Zhang Sime. She was tied up with a black rope. Her face was pale white. It was obvious that the rope had a strange power. It could make Zhang Sime feel weak. Are you guys from the Western Tiger Mountain Villa? Chen Shang immediately asked. That's right, we are from Western Tiger Mountain Villa. I am the descendant of the manor lord of Western Tiger Mountain Villa, my name is Huluo. The man had a disdainful smile on his face as he said, your cultivation level is not that high, but your pill refining skills are quite good. We really shouldn't have let that internal affairs elder go. Chen Shang snorted, then looked at Jiang Ximei. Jiang Ximei was currently extremely haggard, her expression was full of resentment, and wanted to kill all the people who had grabbed her. From her gaze, Chen Shang could see that Jiang Ximei was willing to let him go, regardless of her, as long as he helped her take revenge. The old fellow you're talking about has already been killed by us. Regardless of whether you used to kill him or not, if he lost the face of our Western Tiger Mountain Villa, he would still die. Huluo rolled up his sleeves and continued to speak. I heard that you're very arrogant, and that you earned a lot of Dao Crystal, and you're also very young, so I'm very jealous of you. Don't you know our relationship with the Tai brothers? Chen Zhang's voice became ice cold. Of course I know, but as long as you become my servant, I feel that we don't need to be afraid of them. Hee, as long as you become my servant and sign a contract with me in the master-servant contract, I will let this woman go. Huluo smiled sinisterly, you should be a righteous and loyal person, otherwise, you wouldn't have crippled that old fellow's son just because of anger last time. I'm not wrong, right? How is it? Do you think that I'm very smart and can easily control an alchemist like you? Huluo laughed out loud. The master-servant contract required Chen Zhang's willingness, so it did not have a good effect to capture Chen Shang and force him into a corner. However, Huluo felt that even if Chen Shang was unwilling, he would not be able to escape today. I'll give you some time to think about it. After all, those Tianyun gold dan are not bad, and if they were in my hands, I would sell them for at least 3,000 Dao crystal. Huluo said. Chen Shang suddenly took out a storage bag and said, how about this, I will exchange you 20,000 Tianyun gold dan that I just refined. 20,000 pills, you still have so many left. Huluo was startled, but he was not stupid. I don't want to, as long as you become my servant and help me concoct pills, then I will have as much as I want. Right, pour out all of your Tianyun gold dan. I want to see what kind of 20,000 are like, I have never seen them before. At this time, Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Jiang Ximei, and said, later on, I will turn you into a little thing, when you realize that something is wrong with your body, you can try to jump over to my side. When Jiang Ximei heard it, he blinked his eyes. Chen Shang held the storage bag in his hand and waved it towards the sky. 20,000 Jinyuan Dao Dan flew out like golden stars. Wow! Huluo looked at the Tianyun gold dan in the sky and couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Haha, I'll have as much as I want in the future. Huluo laughed out wildly, and caught the Tianyun gold dan that fell to the ground with both of his hands. The two elders behind him seemed to have never seen so many pills, and could not help but to look at them with interest. Just then, Chen Zhang's eyes suddenly shot out two rays of weak white light, the power of the transformation technique struck Jiang Ximei's body. Jiang Ximei immediately turned into a very small flea, struggling free of the black ropes that were tying her up. As she struggled to jump over to Chen Zhang's side, Chen Shang also jumped over with his shrinking step. The moment he touched Jiang Ximei, he brought Jiang Ximei inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa. You're courting death. An old man came over when he saw Chen Shang. At the same time, he struck out with his palm, sending Chen Shang flying far away. When Chen Shang fell from the tall mountain, he became a small stone, but the power of the old man's palm just now was extremely strong. The entire mountain shook, and many small stones rolled down, making it difficult for them to discover Chen Shang. The old man was very powerful. Chen Shang had suffered severe injuries from his big palm, but fortunately, he was still able to maintain his consciousness. All of you go and find that kid. I'll pick this Tianyun gold dan up and make sure to find him. If he goes back and tells that surnamed Tai's brother, we'll be in trouble. Huluo said anxiously, then quickly picked up the Tianyun gold dan on the ground. The two old men also flew towards the direction Chen Shang flew towards. Chen Shang rested for a moment, stabilizing the condition of his body, then transformed into a small insect that quickly climbed up the mountain. You don't need to pick them up. Follow these Tianyun gold dan and destroy them. Chen Shang went up and saw that Huluo was busy picking up the Tianyun gold dan, so he took out the Emperor seal and imprinted it onto Huluo. With a dragon's roar, it smashed onto Huluo's body and the entire mountain peak was smashed into pieces by the force of the roar. Huluo was the Villa Master's grandson and had extremely strong defensive treasures on his body. After Chen Shang left the seal, he saw that Huluo had only been sent flying, hence he also rushed towards the direction where Huluo had been sent flying. The two old men were all stunned. They never thought that after receiving such a heavy blow, Chen Shang would still be able to run to the top of the mountain to attack him. They were currently extremely anxious. If Huluo died, they would definitely be in deep trouble. The first thing they would do was to look at the true contents of this book. Chapter 2707. Chen Shang rushed towards Huluo, very quickly grabbing onto Huluo, and threw him into the Chuangshi God furnace. Then, he turned into a rock, rolled down the mountain along with the other messy rocks. He was not afraid that the two elders would go back and tell Western Tiger Mountain Villa. When Western Tiger Mountain Villa did such a thing, it was already wrong to do it in the first place. If this matter were to spread, Western Tiger Mountain Villa's reputation would also be bad. We're in trouble now. The young manor lord has been taken away by that guy. What should we do now? An old man frowned, his face full of worry. Go back and find the manor lord first. Check if the young manor lord's life orb is still intact. If it has already shattered, we have to plan for the worst. Quote. Do we really have to go back? If the young villa master's life orb shatters, we might not be able to leave. Or perhaps, just by joining the Heavenly Tao sect, I will not be able to return to Western Tiger Mountain Villa. Quote. They were both old followers of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa's villa master, so their status in the Western Tiger Mountain Villa was not very high. Furthermore, they were now in charge of protecting Huluo. If Huluo died, their fate would be very serious, so they didn't dare go back right now. Even if we go to the Heavenly Law School, we will be in for a lot of trouble. If Western Tiger Mountain Villa finds out that we are in the Heavenly Law sect, he would definitely not let us off. We will just hide our identities inside the Tian Dao sect while disguising ourselves. As for today's incident, we will just stay silent. The Western Tiger Mountain Villa shouldn't be able to find us, just treat it as us and the young villa master disappearing. Alright, that's my decision. After that, the two elders left the mountain and Chen Shang arrived at the foot of the mountain. She dragged her injured body and carefully returned to the Myriad Dao City. When he returned to the Meijing store, it was already dawn. Chen Shang had released Jiang Ximei from his secret underground room. How's your injury? Jiang Ximei saw that Chen Zhang's face was ugly and asked anxiously. It's not bad, I didn't manage to injure Divine Sense C, but her body was heavily injured so she will be able to recover after a while. Don't worry about me. What about you, are you all right now? Chen Shang laughed and asked. I'm fine now. It's all my fault for being too careless and not being on guard. Jiang Ximei said as he blamed himself. I will definitely be careful in the future. Chen Shang nodded, took out his Chuangshi God furnace and released Huluo who was inside. Huluo had not been killed yet, but he had also suffered quite a few injuries, and currently, he was lying on the ground in pain. This is the bastard. When Jiang Ximei saw that she was thrown out, she was immediately enraged and stomped on Huluo fiercely. Furthermore, Jiang Ximei had purposely stepped in the middle of Huluo's legs, causing him to scream miserably. Spare me, I won't dare to do it again. He had never thought that not only would Chen Shang be able to save Jiang Ximei, he would also be able to capture him. Until now, he still could not understand what methods Chen Shang had used. Chen Shang also went over to ravage Huluo ruthlessly. Such a fellow actually wanted to take him in as a servant and even used Jiang Ximei to threaten him, causing him to get injured right now. Huluo took turns to be beaten up by Jiang Ximei and Chen Shang. Not only was he resentful, he was also filled with fear. This guy is the young master of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa, his grandfather is the master of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa, his father's strength is also not bad. Jiang Ximei said. Then how should we deal with him and kill him? Chen Shang said. They had let out their anger, but did not know whether to kill Huluo or not. HMPH, of course we have to kill this guy. If we let him go back this time, we will be in even greater trouble in the future. Jiang Ximei's face was gloomy and cold, such an evil and soft bastard, letting him stay in this world is practically committing sin. Don't, there will never be a next time. Huluo pleaded for mercy, but a fierce look flashed past his eyes, which was seen clearly by Jiang Ximei and Chen Shang. Chen Shang had already taken out the heavenly magic sword, but Jiang Ximei had already made his move. With a flash of red light, the red curved blade in Jiang Ximei's hand chopped out, and cut off Huluo's head. Go to hell, motherfucker. Jiang Ximei waved his hand and released a ball of black air. The black air enveloped Huluo's body and ignited into black flames. This is the fire of death? Chen Shang asked in surprise. Not yet, it's just a flame with a little power of death. If I could use the true power of death, I wouldn't be captured by this bastard. Jiang Ximei said. She was also a decisive woman, especially after being taken away, causing Chen Shang to be severely injured. She would not show any mercy when facing her enemies. Chen Shang kept all of these things into the Chuangshi God furnace for purification and then sat cross-legged on the ground for treatment. Oh yeah, the two old men escaped, worried that they would return to the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. This was what Chen Shang was more worried about right now. Although the two elders went to the Heavenly Tao sect, it was hard to say whether or not they would spread the news to the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. We trust Senior Tai so much. It would be best for us to discuss this matter with them and let them prepare. Jiang Ximei said. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa is the strongest out of the few villas. They aren't afraid of Western Tiger Mountain Villa. Alright, now that things have come to this, we can only do it. They should be coming today to take a walk. When the time comes, you can go and discuss it with them. I'll heal up first. Chen Shang was only injured in the flesh right now, but by using the primitive Tao power, he could quickly recover from his injuries. 7 days later, Chen Shang had already recovered from his injuries and refined 20,000 Tianyun gold dan. He walked out of the secret room and anxiously went to look for Jiang Ximei. He was worried that something would happen to Jiang Ximei. How are you doing? Jiang Ximei was in her room, but when she knocked, she immediately opened the door and asked. It's done, I even refined 20,000 Tianyun gold dan. Chen Shang laughed. It was really a waste to throw away those 20,000 Tianyun gold dan previously. Jiang Ximei couldn't help but sigh as he thought about it. He had only lost her because he wanted to save her. It's nothing compared to a beauty like you, 20,000 Tianyun gold dan are nothing. Chen Shang snickered. Jiang Ximei scoffed, and then pulled Chen Shang into the room. I've already told the two seniors about that. Jiang Ximei said. They feel that this matter is more serious, and they have already sent people to investigate the reaction of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. They will tell us when the results come. Looks like you have to hurry up and train to become a Death Rule Dao line. You still lack 15 law beads. Right now, we have enough Dao crystal. Chen Shang said. He already had more than 300 million Dao crystal in his hands. Even if he were to use 150 million to buy the law beads, he would still have nearly 200 million. Alright, I'll go now. Jiang Ximei said. Don't go out during this period of time. I'm worried that another accident will happen to you. We'll talk about it when you're able to cultivate the Death Rule Dao line. Chen Shang immediately stopped Jiang Ximei. At this time, Tai Bo and Tai Bao also came. This book came from 17K, so the first thing he did was to read the true contents of the book. Chapter 2708. Chen Shang and Jiang Ximei anxiously walked out. They wanted to know the current situation of the Western Tiger Mountain Villa, and whether or not they could continue to stay in the Myriad Dao City was related to this. Chen Shang had also prepared for the worst. If Western Tiger Mountain Villa knew that it was them who did it, and had steeled his heart to deal with them, at that time, even if Tai Bo and Tai Bao did not help out, he would continue to bring Jiang Ximei out of Myriad Dao City for the time being, and wait for some time before changing his appearance to come back to earn Dao Crystal. Seniors, how are things at Western Tiger Mountain Villa? Chen Shang asked. Western Tiger Mountain Villa already knows of Hu Luo's death, but we don't know the cause of death. They are currently sending many people to investigate, and I have also found the two old fellows who joined the Heavenly Tao sect. They have already been secretly killed by his two brothers. Tai Bao said. It's all right now, you don't have to be so nervous. Tai Bo chuckled. Those two old followers have not told Western Tiger Mountain Villa about this. Tai Bao shook his head. For now, I'm fine, but we can't guarantee that the Western Tiger Mountain Villa won't know in the future. What if Western Tiger Mountain Villa finds out? Chen Shang asked. If Western Tiger Mountain Villa knows that you did it, we brothers will definitely protect you. In short, we won't cower. Tai Bao patted Chen Zhang's shoulder to show his determination. After all, Chen Shang had allowed them to earn a lot of Dao Crystal, and their position in the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa had risen a lot. This would also allow them to gain more attention from the higher-ups of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, and be able to approach the core, and be groomed as the successor to the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Currently, the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa only earned a few Dao Crystals from the pills the two brothers received. This was something not even the other two generations of Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa were able to achieve. How about this, we can help you find another partner, even if the matter is exposed in the future, the pressure on us will be reduced a lot. Tai Bao thought about it and said. Who are you looking for? Chen Shang also felt that being like this was not bad. If he could have too strong backing in the future, even if it would bring trouble, he did not need to worry. Seniors, wouldn't this cause you to lose quite a bit of business? Jiang Sime said, Chen Zhang's pills are limited. If you find him a partner, it means that you get half of the benefits for him. This Chen Shang brat has great potential, and there will definitely be a lot of things happening in the future. If we were to give up half of our profits, it would be equivalent to reducing the pressure by half. Tai Bao chuckled, I believe that in the future, Chen Shang will definitely concoct pills that would bring even higher profits. Right now, we have only been working with him for a short while, and have earned a lot of money. After all, there's still a lot of time. What kind of villa is that? Jiang Sime asked. Phoenix Mountain Villa. Out of the 7 great villas, only the Phoenix Mountain Villa and our Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa have not had any conflicts. The other villas all have at least a little. Tai Bao said, don't look at how friendly the 7 great villas look on the surface, and how they occasionally move around a little. Phoenix Mountain Villa is also one of the 7 great villas, and to be named after the divine phoenix is definitely related to the phoenix. I will help you all contact the people of the Phoenix Mountain Villa. You all don't have to worry about the people of the Phoenix Mountain Villa as well, they are still relatively easy to talk to. Over the years, the Phoenix Mountain Villa has rarely had any conflicts with other villas, and it has only been a few times with the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. Tai Bao laughed. After that, the 2 brothers left in a hurry. They said that they would go find the people from the Phoenix Mountain Villa and ask them to wait here. Chen Shang and Jiang Sime were waiting for them here. Mei, what kind of person do you think the Phoenix Mountain Villa will send? Chen Shang asked. He should be sending either the Qing Ke King or Feng Rushui. Jiang Sime said, these 2 are the ones with more power in the Phoenix Mountain Villa. Qing Ke King is male, right? Feng Rushui is definitely female. Chen Shang laughed. Did they all say young people? Yes, probably the same as Huluo, being one of the more important ones among the 3 generations. Among the many villas, the 3rd generation is usually free and leisure, but within the Phoenix Mountain Villa, the 3rd generation Qing Ke King S and Feng Rushui have already begun to take charge of some of the Phoenix Mountain Villa's affairs. It's very rare. It's 2 of senior ties. They should be the 2nd generation, they seem to have nothing better to do. Chen Shang laughed. That's because of various reasons, they haven't been listed in the core of the family and won't receive much resources in the future. But now that you're cooperating with them, they should have already entered the core of the family and obtained more resources than before. Jiang Sime said. Right, why do you have to be called Qing Ke King? What a strange title. Chen Shang was very curious. He was the grandson of the great elder of the Phoenix Mountain Villa, and was born as a cyan sparrow. However, he had already evolved into a phoenix after that, and Feng Rushui was born as a phoenix. Both her parents possessed pure phoenix bloodline, so they were the granddaughters of the Phoenix Villa Master. Quote, Qing Ke King and Feng Rushui are cousins, the 2 of them have a pretty good relationship. Jiang Sime said, so, in the future, it might be the 2 of them. Jiang Sime understood these things very well, she had already investigated into it before. Before long, Tai Bo and Tai Bao returned. Just as Jiang Sime had guessed, the Qing Ke King and Feng Rushui had come to meet Chen Shang. Qing Ke King was dressed in a beautiful blue robe, looking gentle and refined, with a refraction sword in his hand, and a smile on his handsome face. Feng Rushui was wearing a red and white cheongsam. That luxurious dress looked like a fire that had been set ablaze by snow. Of course, Feng Rushui's appearance was much prettier than her long skirt. Her oval face carried a trace of a gentle and seductive smile, and she looked mature yet charming without losing any of her gentleness and elegance. She was a very beautiful woman. Rushui greets Master Shen. Feng Rushui saw that Chen Shang was staring at her and laughed softly. He immediately bowed politely and said with his clear and beautiful voice. Bluebird pays his respect to Grandmaster Shen. Qing Ke King was also very polite. He had long heard of Chen Zhang's big name, but this was the first time he saw him. He never thought that Chen Shang was actually also a handsome man. I dare not be a master, the 2 young elites of Phoenix Mountain Villa are too courteous, please take a seat. Chen Shang laughed and let them sit. Jiang Sime also gave them some tea. Tai Bo and Tai Bao had definitely talked about cooperation with them, and were only here to formally discuss the details of cooperation with Chen Shang. Of course, Qing Ke and Feng Rushui couldn't understand why Chen Shang would suddenly cooperate with them, and why he was the one who invited them here. Tai Bo was not stupid enough to tell the two of them that Chen Shang had killed the young master of Western Tiger Mountain Villa, so he wanted to ask for more help. This book came from the 17K section, so the first thing he wanted to do was to look at the true contents of it. Chapter 2709. Chen Shang made Jiang Sime take out a few boxes of Tianyun Gold Dan, allowing the Cyan Sparrow and Feng Rushui to take a look at them, then took a good look at these goods. This is the Tianyun Gold Dan that we have just researched. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa's shop has begun to sell, its current sales are not bad. Chen Shang said. We have eaten Tianyun Gold Dan before, and the effect is indeed very good, much better than Jinyuan Dao Dan. The price can also be considered cheap. There are a few areas in Myriad Dao City that are not a threat to Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. If we sell this kind of Tianyun Gold Dan, we can definitely sell it very well. Feng Rushui said softly. We gave you the same price as them, 2,000 pills. Jiang Sime said, all of the large shops in your Phoenix Mountain Villa do not overlap with the one in your Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa at all. If your shop were to sell this pill, it might even pull a few nearby villas over, making your area even more prosperous. The Cyan Sparrow nodded its head. Indeed, this is a very good deal. Even if you increase the price a little, we will still buy some from you. It's just that we don't understand. You must be cooperating very well with Old Tai and the others. Why are you letting us benefit? Chen Shang laughed. I just want to be friends with Old Tai and the others. I think that Phoenix Mountain Villa is more suited to work with me, and this is also because your Phoenix Mountain Villa has not formed enmity with any other powers for many years, so Old Tai and the others respect you more. Tai Bao chuckled. Actually, this brat Chen Shang is around the same age as you, always cooperating with us old guys. I'm worried that he will feel bored. After all, you are all young, maybe you guys have some better ideas that can help everyone get rich together. Tai Bo laughed. We brothers will be core members of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa in the future, and there's a greater chance that we can take over the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa in the future, and for you two to have such accomplishments at such a young age, I believe you two will become leaders of the Phoenix Mountain Villa someday, and at that time, we will be able to cooperate even more. They also knew that the young disciples of the other villa are secretly joining hands at this moment. This is also to reduce the pressure on others and to even get help from outside if they were to ascend to the position in the future. 1 pellet of 2,000 Dao crystal. There are 20,000 pellets here. Chen Shang said, in the future, you can come here to retrieve it once every 10 days. When that time comes, I will give you all at least 50,000 pills. If I need to cultivate in seclusion for a long period of time, I will inform all of you in advance. Alright, I and the Cyan Sparrow will have 10,000 each. Here are my 2,000 myriad Dao crystals. Feng Rushui took out a storage bag and gave it to Jiang Sime. The Cyan Sparrow took away the 10,000 Tianyun Gold Dan and gave them to Jiang Sime. After Jiang Sime finished counting, he nodded towards Chen Shang. Then Phoenix Mountain Villa will be my new partner. Chen Shang laughed. Master Shen, if you have any difficulties in the future, I, Feng Rushui, will give my all to help you. Feng Rushui stood up and said to Chen Shang. Before this, we also knew that Master Shen had been disturbed by some people from the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. We, the Cyan Sparrow, had promised that we would never do such a thing again. The Cyan Sparrow cupped his fists and said to Chen Shang. The two of them promised in their own names, but didn't say that they were Phoenix Mountain Villa. Chen Shang did not mind. After all, Feng Rushui and Qing Ke had only just tasted the sweetness. If they earned more from it, the elders behind them would support them even more, so if Chen Shang was in trouble, they could get the elders behind them to help. After Feng Rushui and the chickadee left, Chen Shang gave Tai Bo and Tai Bao 105 million myriad Dao crystals. He told them to help Jiang Sime buy the death law beads. After Chen Shang obtained these law beads, he entered the secret room to refine them. Right now, he did not ship the goods every day, but every 10 days. As for how many there would be, he did not know. In short, it would more or less be there. Very quickly, he had refined 15 law beads. As long as Jiang Sime refined these law beads, he would be able to cultivate a death rule Dao line. If she was able to cultivate the death rule Dao line, her power would increase by a lot, and at that time, she would be able to focus all her energy on training the spirit of the Dao gods. Training spirit of the Dao gods required either Jinyuan Dao Dan or Tianyun Gold Dan. These were not difficult for Chen Shang. Elders, have you two seen anyone who has successfully cultivated an interspatial Tao? Chen Shang asked. Of course there are. However, many people who manage to break through to the Tao path are filled with regret. Could it be that you wish to train in it? Tai Bao said in shock. Why do they regret it? Chen Shang was very curious about this, causing him to be very suspicious. If the spatial laws were not of much use here, then the space foundation he built up over the years would have been a waste. The main thing is that it's not as powerful as they imagined. The distance to teleport isn't far, and the consumption is huge. It's more useful at critical times. Tai Bao said, if you are training rare principle, I hope that you can train in the flight laws. Tai Bao nodded his head. The flight rule is very practical. After training, one can fly in the air, especially during battle. If one can master flying freely, then one's flying speed will be even faster. That's right, it seems like those fellows from the Phoenix Mountain Villa have been born with flying Dao channels. His innate flying Dao veins reminded Chen Shang of Shui Ying. Back then, he could already fly in primitive land. How many different kinds of rare principle can a person cultivate at the same time? Chen Shang asked again. He knew that there were a lot of rare principles who were relatively strong. In theory, there are 9. One basic Dao vein, the other 9 Dao veins can all cultivate rare principle. Tai Bao thought for a moment, then said, of course, there aren't many people like him, because rare principle are very expensive. La beads could only be formed by throwing them into the myriad Dao divine steel. Even though those villas controlled the myriad Dao's divine steel, they still needed to use Dao crystal to exchange for La beads. Chen Shang actually wanted to try, because not only could he earn a lot of Dao crystal, he could also use the heavenly alchemy to refine the La beads, increasing the power of the ancient code by several times. He was very interested in the heavenly refining code and wanted to try and see what it could do with the heavenly alchemy. Just what use does the heavenly refining laws have? This name sounds a bit strange. Chen Shang said. The main purpose is to quickly refine all kinds of things. However, it requires a lot of Dao crystal, and originally, it required about 100 million Dao crystal to condense one, but the Heavenly Dao sect had made quite a few, and in the future, they would need 1 billion Dao crystal to condense one. As time passed, the Heavenly Dao sect would no longer be able to gather any more from the myriad Dao's divine steel. The same goes for the way of the sword, you can find it in the myriad Dao mausoleum. This was related to the Heavenly Dao sect, and was most likely related to the heavenly alchemy. He was sure that he could use it together with the heavenly alchemy. This made him even more curious, and he wanted to use it even more. 1 billion Dao crystal, this is really scary. Chen Shang exclaimed. He needed to get at least 25 pills to be able to condense the Dao meridian, that would require 25 billion Dao crystal. Chapter 2710. The myriad Dao mausoleum would need another year to open, and rare La beads could be found there too. If Chen Shang wanted to cultivate a spatial rule Dao line, he wouldn't even be able to wait until the myriad Dao mausoleum opened. This was because the myriad Dao mausoleum was extremely dangerous. If he could not cultivate the spatial laws, he did not plan to go inside to die. In the past, the reason he was able to survive in all sorts of dangerous lands with his low cultivation was mostly due to the power of the space laws. Thus, he had to cultivate up to the spatial Dao vein in order to head to myriad Dao mausoleum. Chen Shang chatted with the 2 elders for a while before he decided to start concocting pills. He already had 2 partners, and he needed to concoct even more pills. If he had been able to use the power of space to save Jiang Sime earlier, he wouldn't have been injured then. Originally, Chen Shang could refine 20,000 Tianyun gold dan a day, but now he could refine 30,000. In 10 days, he would refine 300,000. When Tai Bao came to retrieve the pellets, he was also very surprised. Chen Shang would sell them to Tai Bao for 150,000 pills, and Tai Bao would sell them to other shops specifically. After getting the money, he would sell them to Chen Shang and the others. At the same time, Chen Shang gave them 150 million pills. The main reason was because Jiang Sijing's current rate of planting herbs was not fast enough. Tianyun Gold Dan S required a lot of different kinds of herbs, and the quality was slightly higher, making it difficult to cultivate. If Jiang Sijing could cultivate the ancient code of rebirth, his speed would be even faster. After Tai Bao and the other 2 brothers left, Feng Rushui, who had received the notification, also came to retrieve the pellets. Last time, their Phoenix Mountain Villa only took 20,000 pellets from Chen Zhang's hands. This time, Feng Rushui wore a fiery red long skirt, Looking extremely red and noble, her oval face carried a faint charming smile, giving people a hot and captivating feeling. Miss Feng, you're really punctual. How was the sales of those Tianyun gold dan last time? Chen Shang appreciated Feng Rushui's beauty and asked with a smile. Master Shen, you can just call me Rushui. Feng Rushui smiled lightly. Those 20,000 Tianyun gold dan pellets were sold out very quickly. Because we were cooperating with you, we were praised by some of the elders of the villa. Don't call me Grand Master, just call me Chen Shang. It seems like we are of the same generation. Chen Shang laughed. Sit down, sit down. Saying that, he poured Feng Rushui a cup of tea. Where's young Master Bluebird? Why isn't he here today? Chen Shang asked. He's rather busy, so please forgive him for not being able to come today. When Feng Rushui poured tea for her, Feng Rushui was a little flattered. She respected Chen Zhang's ability to refine pills. Where's that beautiful lady? Why didn't I see her today? Feng Rushui's eyes moved. He looked around and asked. She's cultivating behind closed doors. Is there something I can do for her? Chen Shang asked. I just want to chat with her. She seems to be very familiar with the distribution of power here. She probably did a lot of research. Feng Rushui took a sip of his tea. Of course, beauty is indeed very hardworking. I'll let her know when she comes out. Chen Shang said. Oh yeah, Sime and Sijing are twin sisters. Sijing seems to be with you as well. The last time Feng Rushui came, she did not see Zhang Sijing. She had investigated Chen Shang a little and only found that Chen Shang was on good terms with this pair of twins. She's in charge of growing medicinal herbs, so she's rather busy. Chen Shang said. They are truly your good helpers. They are beautiful and very capable. Feng Rushui said with an ambiguous smile. Chen Shang took out a storage bag, and laughed. Rushui, you're also very strong. Not only are you a phoenix, you're also so beautiful. Although Rushui is a phoenix, but with a dragon among men like young Master Shen here, I am just a little sparrow. Feng Rushui received the storage bag from Chen Shang with a charming smile. She looked at it and took a small breath. 150,000. I don't have that many Dao crystal on me. Feng Rushui was panicking a little. She thought that Chen Shang only had a few tens of thousands of spirit stones with her this time, and there weren't many Dao crystal that she could call. It's fine. When I cooperate with the two elders of the Tai family, I will wait for them to change hands before collecting the Dao crystal. It's not too late to bring them back the next time you come to retrieve the pill. I trust you. Chen Shang laughed. Feng Rushui secretly heaved a sigh of relief. She was afraid that she would lose her composure, but she never thought that Chen Shang would be so generous. Young Master Shen, Ruizu will definitely be transferred to our Phoenix Mountain Villa's shop as soon as possible, and we will settle the debt with you as soon as possible. Feng Rushui said. Now that she was holding so many of Chen Zhang's Tianyun gold dan for free, she felt a little uncomfortable. Feng Rushui stood up and was about to leave, when Chen Shang anxiously said, Don't be in such a rush, I still want to chat with you for a bit. Feng Rushui didn't expect her to blush and then sit down again. Chen Shang was very curious about the phoenix here, so he wanted to understand more about it. Rushui, can you really become a great phoenix and fly in the sky? Chen Shang asked curiously. Feng Rushui smiled slightly and nodded. Yes, but I rarely become a phoenix, and the latest change is more than 10 years ago. If young Master Shen wants to see it, I can show it to you right now. That won't be necessary. I've seen the phoenix before, but it's not here. Chen Shang promptly waved his hand. If she were to turn into a phoenix, it would definitely cause quite a bit of commotion. He did not want to be so ostentatious. Where have I seen this before? If there is a phoenix in any other place, it would be extremely rare. Feng Rushui was very surprised about this, because according to her understanding, there were very few other places that had phoenixes. Chen Shang had seen many dragons, but she had rarely seen the phoenix, so she could only see Shui Ying and her father. In my homeland, it isn't the divine wasteland. Chen Shang felt that Feng Rushui would definitely understand what kind of place it was. So it's from the lower realms, and this is even rarer. I wonder what kind of understanding young Master Shen has towards that phoenix. If it was a phoenix scattered everywhere, it could all come back to us. Our Phoenix Mountain Villa should be the only phoenix gathering place. Feng Rushui immediately said. Hee, that phoenix is one of my wives. I do understand her, but her strength is still lacking. Therefore, it is rather dangerous to come here from the lower realms. Chen Shang couldn't help but think back to the scene where he was entangled with Shui Ying. At that time, Ji Meixian was still there, and when he thought of that bright and beautiful scene, he couldn't help but sigh inwardly. He had already arrived at the divine wasteland, and it was unknown just how long he would need to return. Ah, young Master Shen is really amazing, to have a phoenix as his wife. Feng Rushui was a little surprised. She thought that the woman beside Chen Shang was only Mei Jing sisters. That's true, Rushui. Were you born with a flying Dao meridian? Chen Shang suddenly asked earnestly. This was the main reason why he kept Feng Rushui. Chapter 2711. Feng Rushui nodded his head. The phoenix in the Phoenix Mountain Villa had flight rules, and this was already a known fact. The two Tai sisters had also told Chen Shang about this matter before. Usually how many there are? Chen Shang asked again. Our foundation Dao veins are the fusion of the law of flight, law of regeneration, and law of fire. Of course, only phoenixes of pure bloodlines have these, they aren't the other phoenixes that have evolved. Feng Rushui said. So that's how it is. In that case, what is your cultivation level now? Chen Shang was secretly shocked. His basic Dao veins did not have any power of laws, but this phoenix actually had 3 as 1. The Tai Dao realm is already at the 10th level. Feng Rushui answered truthfully. Chen Shang rubbed his chin, looked outside to confirm that there was no one around, and then said in a low voice, Rushui, can you release the power of the law of flight, in other words, can you extract it and refine it into a law beads? Quote. Feng Rushui frowned slightly, then shook his head. We were born with the power of the laws, even if we extract it out, it would be very difficult for others to use, and there would even be serious consequences. In other words, you are able to extract the power of the law of flight from your foundation. Chen Shang asked again. This, sure. Feng Rushui lowered her head, she knew what Chen Shang was planning, but facing Chen Shang, she couldn't lie. Don't worry, I'm just curious. Chen Shang saw that Feng Rushui's face was warped, and he laughed. If I really need them, I can condense 2 flight rule beads in a day, but none of these are useful. They can only be used by me. Feng Rushui sighed softly. Then can you give me some? I just want to give it a try and use it in pill refining. Chen Zhang's heart stirred, and he said, I can use the Dao crystal to purchase them from you. Young Master Shen, if you need it, I can give it to you. Feng Rushui said, roughly how much do you need? 30 pills. Chen Shang decided to give it a try, and see if he could refine it using her law beads. If he succeeded, he could save a lot of Dao crystal, and at most give Feng Rushui back some Dao crystal. This is not a problem. I can condense 2 pills every day. I'll come back 10 days later. At that time, I can give you 20 pills. After Feng Rushui finished speaking, he thought for a while, then stood up with a serious expression. He said, Young Master Shen, you must not use it on your own. Furthermore, you can't tell others that this is a taboo in the Phoenix Mountain Villa. If I were to meet the elders of the villa, I will receive a very severe punishment. Quote. I definitely won't speak carelessly. Rushwang, don't worry. Chen Shang did not want others to know about this either, so he would naturally not speak carelessly. After Feng Rushui left, Chen Shang was secretly elated. He felt that he would definitely succeed if he used the heavenly alchemy. At that time, as long as he obtained the spatial laws, he would be much safer in the myriad Dao mausoleum in a year. Taibo brought 15 reborn law beads and gave them to Chen Shang. After obtaining these rebirth law beads, Chen Shang immediately entered the secret room to refine them. In a day's time, he had finished refining them all, and after that, he gave them to Zhang Sijing for her to refine the rebirth law beads and cultivate the rebirth Dao vein. Zhang Sime had also come out of seclusion. He had already successfully cultivated the death meridian, and even demonstrated the death flame and various types of death powers to Chen Shang. It was very scary. Let's see who dares to bully me. If I try my best to release the power of death, even if he's stronger than me by a bit, I will still kill him. Zhang Sime was extremely confident at the moment. Mei, Feng Rushui came to retrieve the pill 2 days ago. I originally wanted to talk to you, but it was only because you were in closed-door cultivation. Chen Shang laughed. Do you want to look for her now? Alright, I've already mastered the Tao of Death. You don't have to worry about me. Zhang Sime replied. With that last time, I'll pay attention to it this time. Chen Shang nodded his head. It was impossible for him to stay on tenterhooks all day. Furthermore, the myriad Dao city knew that he, Chen Shang, was working with the Phoenix Mountain Villa again. Although the Phoenix Mountain Villa rarely made enemies with others, this did not mean that the Phoenix Mountain Villa was easy to bully. Jiang Ximei went to find Feng Rushui, and Chen Shang went into the secret room, where he was refining a Gumai Dan. The Tianyun Gold Dan S did not have much medicinal ingredients left, but the Gumai Dan S had a lot of ingredients. He planned to refine more Gumai Dan S in one go, if not he would have a huge backlog of medicinal ingredients. In the remaining time, Chen Shang did his best to refine the Gumai Dan, because he did not lack medicinal ingredients, he used many of them in every furnace. In order to stimulate his own potential, he used his Dawen refining method to the maximum, to the point that he even refined Gumai Dan. It could be said to be extremely crazy. In just a single day, he was able to refine over 100,000 pills. This was twice as much as before, but it also made him exhausted. Even though he was exhausted, he only needed to rest for 4 hours to recover his spirit to its peak state before he could continue concocting pills. 8 days had passed and Chen Shang came out of the secret room. He had already refined 800,000 Gumai Dan, which was enough for Myriad Dao City to consume for a while. Every time, the first one to come would be Tai Bao. Because of the medicinal ingredients, there are only Gumai Dan left. Chen Shang handed over 400,000 Gumai Dan S to Tai Bao, while Tai Bao gave Chen Shang the payment for the last time with the Tianyun Gold Dan S. Not a few, it's been for a long time. Although it was a lower-leveled Gumai Dan, Tai Bao and the others still earned quite a bit, so they didn't mind. After Tai Bao, was the time Feng Rushui came. Jiang Ximei immediately went out to welcome him, and it could be seen that during this period, Jiang Ximei had frequently gone to find Feng Rushui, so their relationship had become extremely good. Feng Rushui had already given the last Dao crystal to Jiang Ximei, so he would hand Jiang Ximei over to him the moment Chen Shang came out of seclusion. This time, it's Gumai Dan, 500 Dao crystal. Your Phoenix Mountain Villa's shop didn't sell any of them, right? Chen Shang passed the Gumai Dan to Feng Rushui, and Feng Rushui also gave Chen Shang a storage bag, saying, there's 200 million Dao crystal inside. The Gumai Dan S were cheaper alone, so even if there were 400,000 of them, it would only be 200 million, so Feng Rushui was able to get rid of them this time. Amongst the 200 million Dao crystal that Chen Shang had given him, there were still 20 of them. Thank you very much, Chen Shang whispered to Feng Rushui. You're welcome. Next time, I'll give you 10 pills. Feng Rushui replied, at the same time he smiled at Chen Shang. Although she was only politely smiling, it carried a hint of gentleness and flirtatiousness. Now that Zhang Sijing had successfully cultivated a reborn rule Dao line, the speed at which he grew medicinal ingredients was many times faster. From now on, Chen Shang did not have to worry about the medicinal ingredients required by the Tianyun Gold Dan. That's right, I might have to go into closed-door training during this period of time. If you don't see me after 10 days, then we'll postpone it for another 10 days. Chen Shang said. All right, Feng Rushui nodded. Chen Shang took the flight rule beads and immediately entered the secret room, he was already itching to refine it. Chapter 2712. Feng Rushui had instructed Chen Shang before not to tell anyone else, so she and Chen Shang had not told Jiang Ximei and Zhang Sijing. This was a secret between the two of them. Mei, let's go. After I change my hands on these Gumai Dan, I will bring them to the Phoenix Mountain Villa for a stroll. Feng Rushui was also like Tai Bao and the others, they would increase the price and sell these Gumai Dan S to their own villa's stores, earning a difference in exchange for a share of the profit. In the Myriad Dao City, no matter what background they had, they would need a large number of Dao crystal in exchange for law beads as cultivation from the Myriad Dao's divine steel. Only by cultivating those rare and powerful laws would one be able to obtain even more power and distance himself from the majority of the people. Only by entering the Myriad Dao Mausoleum would he be able to have the power to protect himself and obtain more protection. Chen Shang was refining the law beads that Feng Rushui gave him in the secret room. Now I understand why other people can't use her law beads. The reason why her power of law can't be used by others is because of this inherited bloodline power. These bloodline energies all had Feng Rushui's own special power. Even if it was a phoenix that opened its meridians with her, once it absorbed the power of this law to cultivate its Dao, it would be repelled and then exploded. I just need to separate the power of her bloodline. However, the power of her bloodline also contains a great portion of the laws. If they are separated from her, then the losses will be great. Quote. When Chen Shang thought about this, he found that this method would not work and could only think of another way. I will first use the crash method to refine it. Perhaps during the process of colliding, I will dilute the power of her phoenix bloodline. Chen Shang immediately used the crash method. After a few consecutive collisions, just like he had guessed, the power of his phoenix bloodline had indeed weakened by a lot. It was solved just like that. I really didn't expect it to happen. Chen Shang had already successfully refined a flight rule beads. Had to eat it first when refining the law beads. After eating it, the law beads would dissolve by itself and Chen Shang could extract the scattered power of law into the Chuangshi God furnace. Because it was not refined into his own Dao veins, it was fine to not refine it after eating it. And now that Chen Shang had used the crash method to refine it, the power of his blood vessels had already been eliminated. Chen Shang could eat it without worry and cultivate it into his Dao veins. Just like last time, while he refined the law beads, he refined 20 of them in 5 days. Although the flight rule was a rare power of laws, the speed of its refinement was much faster than the previous laws. This made Chen Shang very surprised, as he thought that it would take even longer to refine. Right now, he could also see that the fire Dao vein was already covered with the power of other laws, with just a little bit more and it could have turned into another rule Dao line. I need 5 more pills. Chen Shang became even more agitated now. After that, he left the secret room to find Jiang Ximei and have Jiang Ximei bring him to Feng Rushui. Chen Shang only said that concocting pills was boring, and that he wanted to walk around to visit Feng Rushui. This time, Chen Shang prepared a little gift, and it was only 2 Tianyun gold dan that had been refined using crash method. The quality was extremely high. Upon seeing Feng Rushui, Chen Shang immediately sent a sound transmission to Feng Rushui, saying that he was here to retrieve the law beads. Feng Rushui had been refining law beads every day, and after 5 days, she had also condensed 10. Because Jiang Ximei was by her side, she could only say that she had given Chen Shang some phoenix feathers in return, and that some of the flight rule beads were also inside. Feng Rushui felt that Chen Shang must have succeeded, otherwise he would not have personally come to her for the law beads. After obtaining Feng Rushui's flight rule beads, Chen Shang stayed in Feng Rushui's snow pavilion for more than an hour and then went back by himself. Jiang Ximei still wanted to keep it here. After Chen Shang returned, he hurriedly took out the flight rule beads and began to refine them. Right now, he only needed to refine 5 pills, and it would be completed very quickly. A day had passed and Chen Shang had already eaten the 5 refined flight rule beads. Right now, he was only a bit away from completely refining them. Chen Shang was very nervous as he did not know if he would be able to successfully condense the flying Dao vein. If he succeeded, he would be able to save him 2.5 billion Dao crystal. An hour later, Chen Shang opened his eyes. Success. Chen Shang had already successfully cultivated 1 fire meridian into a different rule Dao line. At this point, he could float in the air, which meant that he had mastered the flight laws here and could freely fly within the divine wasteland. It's been a long time since I've experienced this. Chen Shang floated within the secret room and couldn't help but laugh as he looked down. Just as he was secretly delighted in his heart, he suddenly heard a voice sounding in his mind. Yes, is it young Master Shen, what did you succeed in? Quote. This voice was very familiar, it was indeed Feng Rushui's. Chen Shang was immediately stunned. Feng Rushui who was far away could actually hear his thoughts. Because this place was restricted by space, it didn't even have a transmission talisman, much less sound transmissions through space. However, it was indeed alive. Ruizu, is that you? Chen Shang was startled, but at the same time, he controlled himself so that he wouldn't think too much about it. He felt that this must be related to him using Feng Rushui's flight rule beads. It's me, young Master Shen. What's going on? Feng Rushui was also very shocked, and he could clearly feel the shock in Feng Rushui's heart. Because Chen Zhang's voice inexplicably appeared in her mind. Then, when she tried to use her heart to inquire, she unexpectedly received a response from Chen Shang. This was equivalent to having an ordinary telepathic connection. One would be able to know what the other party was thinking without being restricted by space. Maybe it's because I successfully used your law beads to cultivate and break through my Dao channels. Chen Shang was now certain that it was because he was using her law beads. Ah, you've really succeeded, but I've only given you 30 law beads. You'll need at least 100 of them. Feng Rushui was very surprised that Chen Shang could actually succeed. It was also because he succeeded, that was why he had such a wonderful thing. After I refine it, the power of the ancient code inside the law beads will become stronger. I only need 25 of them to succeed. However, such a thing happened, and a mysterious reaction was born between us. Chen Shang said. It's not good to be able to undo it. Feng Rushui didn't dare to think about other things now, in case Chen Shang found out about it. If she couldn't solve it, then she didn't know how she would live the rest of her life. This was Chen Zhang's fault. Chen Shang was also feeling very guilty right now. It should be fine, don't worry, we'll meet first. Chen Shang said. Chapter 2713. After making an appointment to meet Feng Rushui, Chen Shang immediately headed to the snow pavilion to meet Feng Rushui in secret. Rushui, I can already fly now. It's all thanks to you. Thank you. When Chen Shang saw Feng Rushui, he immediately thanked her. This is a small matter for admission. But now that you and I are in such a bad situation, it will be extremely inconvenient for me. Quote. Feng Rushui was very worried. If she was unable to change the fact that Chen Shang and her were in a telepathic state in the future, she did not know how she would go about doing it in the future. Right now, both she and Chen Shang had to carefully control their thoughts, if not they would accidentally let the other party know. Don't worry, I thought of a solution on the way here. Chen Shang said. On the way here, he thought about the problem. Feng Rushui was instantly overjoyed as she asked in an urgent voice, is that so? Can you resolve this problem now? Chen Shang chuckled. Actually, I also don't want to maintain this state forever. For you and me, this isn't a good thing, so I will definitely do my best to solve this problem. After all, this is also my fault. You're amazing. You actually have a way to use the 25 law pearls I condensed to form the flight laws. Feng Rushui nodded. Although this situation had occurred, she admired Chen Shang even more. Ruizu, this is 100 million Dao crystal. Go buy a flying law pearl, it needs 10,000 divine steel to condense it. Chen Shang said. The orbs condensed from the 10,000 divine monoliths were the purest and didn't contain anything else. Although the orb condensed by Feng Rushui wasn't bad, it contained her phoenix bloodline as well as her spirit. Other than them, there was also a special kind of power. That was why Chen Shang and her had a telepathic connection. Feng Rushui immediately did as she was told and went to purchase the flying law beads. She went for an hour before returning. Here, this is 10 million Dao crystal, I'll return it to you after the discount. Feng Rushui passed the Dao crystal and the law pearl to Chen Shang. After Chen Shang received it, he said, do you have a training room or any other quiet place? Yes, follow me. Feng Rushui hurriedly brought Chen Shang to a secret room. For example, you condensed the flying law pearl that contained your phoenix bloodline. I used your law pearl to cultivate and complete the law Dao vein before communicating with your longevity soul. So right now, I plan to discard a portion of your law energy before fusing it with the law energy of the myriad god tablet. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he suddenly had a thought and forcefully extracted a small part of his flight path. This was not an easy task, and gave him a headache. It's all right now, Chen Shang laughed. Feng Rushui hurriedly nodded and let out a light sigh. She revealed a smile. I don't feel that way anymore. Actually, I'm quite curious about what you're thinking. Chen Shang laughed, looking at how nervous you were just now. Is there something that you don't want me to know, or are you constantly cursing me in your heart? Of course not, young Master Shen is a very respected person. Feng Rushui's face blushed a little as she turned her head away, not daring to look straight into Chen Zhang's eyes. Although Feng Rushui looked very charming, her words and actions were like those of a lady from a noble family. Her tone of voice was extremely humble and respectful, unlike the two enchantress Su Meiyao and Hua Shangyu who always wanted to hook a person's soul away. I don't believe you. Chen Shang laughed. Young Master Shen, stop teasing me. Feng Rushui pursed her lips and spat lightly, looking very pretty. Then I'll start cultivating first. After I fuse with this law bead and my flying Dao channels are complete, I can also fly then. Alright, I'll wait for you outside. Feng Rushui quickly left the secret room and stayed in this place with Chen Shang. Her heart was beating very quickly. Just as Feng Rushui left the secret room and closed the door, the moment Chen Shang closed his eyes, he immediately felt that Feng Rushui was nearby. That kind of feeling was very strange. Even though she couldn't hear Feng Rushui's thoughts, she could clearly feel that Feng Rushui was outside the door, just a few meters away from him. She could only accept it now, as long as Chen Shang could not hear her thoughts. After all, as long as it was a person, no one would want their thoughts to be heard, not to mention that the other party was a man. Chen Shang quickly refined the flying law bead he bought using the collision method, then ate it and refined it into the flying Dao vein. After half a day, his flying technique was completed once again. He tested it out and found that there were no differences between them before, he was still able to fly. Chen Shang opened the door, and then gently flew out into the hall. This feeling is really good. Chen Shang sat down on a chair and picked up a fruit from the table beside him. Is it possible to fly anywhere in the lower realms where you used to be? Feng Rushui asked curiously. Yes, there are very few restrictions. Chen Shang said, I really want to go back, but I can't go back as I have not finished my things here. Chen Shang had come to the divine wasteland to thoroughly settle the matters of the natural law divine realm. He wanted to kill the natural law divine lord so that he could take control of the natural law divine realm in his own hands. Right now you're only at the first stage of Tai Dao realm, right? To be able to cultivate in such a rare Dao vein is something rarely seen. Feng Rushui said, if I wasn't born with it, I don't know when I would have been able to gather 10 billion Dao crystal to cultivate in the rare laws. Even if it's at a discount, it would still require 9 billion Dao crystals. That's right, Rushui. Do you also know where I am and how far we are from each other? Chen Shang looked at Feng Rushui. He wanted to know if Feng Rushui could sense it too. Feng Rushui nodded. I just don't know if there's a limit. How about this, you wait for me here for a bit, and I will take a look at the Phoenix Mountain Villa. The Phoenix Mountain Villa is about to leave the city, and is located rather far away from the city. Quote. Alright, I'll wait for you here. Chen Shang also wanted to know if there was a distance limit. Feng Rushui could fly. She could easily fly to the sky and fly out of the myriad Dao city at an extremely fast speed. Chen Shang could also clearly feel that she was moving quickly now. In just half an hour, she had already left myriad Dao city. It stopped. Could that be the location of the Phoenix Mountain Villa? Chen Shang hurriedly remembered that location, but then he felt another strange feeling. What's going on? Suddenly, a vicious aura appeared. Chen Shang closed his eyes, as if he felt that Feng Rushui was being encircled by many waves of ferocious auras. I'm back. Feng Rushui suddenly began to move quickly in the direction of the myriad Dao city. Chen Shang suddenly opened his eyes, a trace of shock on his face. Feng Rushui looked like she was being chased by a large group of people, and he immediately rushed out of the snow pavilion and towards Feng Rushui's direction. Chapter 2714. After running for a short while, he heard the sound of a bell ringing outside the city. Upon hearing the bell ring, the people on the streets were terrified. The dragon beast are coming, hurry up and hide in the underground secret room. One of them suddenly roared. In that moment, the entire street was in chaos, and in front of Chen Shang, there were also many people shouting. He anxiously jumped up to the roof. Oh no, the Grandma Zhang is outside. Chen Shang thought about Grandma Yang's shop. That shop was closer to the outside. If the dragon beast came in, they would definitely be the first to be affected. He immediately flew towards Grandma Yang's shop. This was Mei Jing's sister's grandmother, and she was very good to him. Not long later, he saw a ball of red light flying over. It was Feng Rushui. Young Master Shen, where are you going? Feng Rushui could also sense where Chen Shang was. Previously, she had sensed Chen Shang moving quickly towards her, but after that, she had changed her direction. Go find Grandma Zhang, she is the grandmother of Sijing and the others. Chen Shang said, then increased his pace and flew over. I'll go with you. Feng Rushui's flying speed was much faster than Chen Zhang's. She pulled Chen Shang and instantly flew to Grandma Yang's shop. From afar, the roars of beasts could be heard. Rushui, what's going on? Chen Shang had already found the Grandma Zhang, and he was extremely calm. The invasion of the dragon beast into the myriad Dao city had happened before, that's why the myriad Dao city was on alert. It's just that they don't know how big the beast herd is this time around. The Grandma Zhang said. About 50,000 of them are of the weaker dragon beast. Feng Rushui frowned, but even if the dragon beast are weaker this time, it will still have a huge impact on myriad Dao city. If it's just a bit weaker, the hunters in the center of the city and the experts from the other major powers should be able to suppress it. Grandma Zhang sighed. However, there will still be a large number of deaths and injuries, especially at the outermost area. Rushui, bring Grandma Zhang to look for Mei Mei. I'll go out to take a look at those dragon beast. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he rushed out of the shop. What surprised him was that there were thousands of people flying in the sky. Did they all have flying Dao bloodlines? Chen Shang said in shock. No, they have some flying divine tools, and these flying divine tools are activated by flight rule beads. At the same time, they need people who have the flight laws to refine them. These kinds of divine tools are usually only used in times of extreme emergency. Feng Rushui said. MN, take good care of Grandma Zhang. Chen Shang flew into the air and followed this group of people that flew towards the group of dragon beast. He looked at them, and saw that these people were enveloped by a faint law of flight, and the majority of their divine artifacts were clothes that were either of the frisbee type or directly worn on their bodies. If the dragon beast was not repelled, then the consequences of destroying the myriad Dao's divine steel would be severe. Now, many people rushed over, partly to kill the dragon beast, but also to protect the myriad Dao's divine steel. If Chen Shang were to fly at his full speed, he would be much faster than them. However, in order to not reveal that he had a flying meridian, he flew much faster. After flying for a while, more than 10 powerful auras suddenly attacked. It's a fellow from the heaven realm, and there are quite a few of them. It seems like we don't have a share of it, someone shouted. Above the Tai Dao realm, Tai Bao, Tai Bo and the others were all in the heaven realm. They could be considered to be in the upper echelons of the myriad Dao city's strengths, and they were also a relatively common group of people with powerful strengths. Chen Shang recognized that Tai Shengjian was also at the peak of the heaven realm, and this was also a realm that was relatively difficult to break through. However, there were quite a few people who could break through the peak of the heaven realm within the 7 great villas and 3 great gates. There's actually so many heaven realms in the city. Not good, the 7 great villas god of heaven had also come. There were a lot of them, seems like it's close to 1,000. A person shouted in shock. Suddenly, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the sky. The place where the beast's roar came from began to emit waves of intense light. The wind was real, and the beast's roar was even more intense and filled with anger. The experts of the heaven realm were already killing the dragon beast, the battle was extremely intense. Chen Shang was still quite a distance away from where he was right now, but he could feel the waves of berserk energy fluctuations that were surging towards him. This aura it's the 3 profound experts, and there are even a few of them. We have to go quickly, in case there's not even a little bit of dregs left. A person shouted in shock. The 3 profound realm was above the heaven realm, so these kind of rankers were considered rare in the myriad Dao city. The reason the 3 profound practitioners moved out was to protect the myriad Dao's divine steel. The myriad Dao's divine steel was the foundation of this place. Without the myriad Dao's divine steel, the entire myriad Dao city would collapse. In addition, those great powers also wanted to make sure that the people here would be at ease. They wanted to let the people here know that with great powers like them, they would be extremely safe. In the distance, a 3 profound practitioner made his move. A pillar of fire shot up high into the sky, causing waves of fiery red clouds to tremble. In the blink of an eye, this area had covered the entire sky. Chen Shang also sped up his speed to fly under the cover of the cloud. When he landed on the ground, he quickly took the dragon beast's corpses. Who knows how many 3 profound experts have arrived. Their strength is truly frightening, and a large number of them have died the moment they attacked. These kind of experts should also be frequent customers in the myriad Dao mausoleum. I think they must have seen a lot of good stuff inside. Chen Shang could fly, his speed was extremely fast. He flew past the ruins and picked up the dragon beast's corpses. I've earned big. I've picked up 2 violet gold dragon apes. Chen Shang was happy. The purple gold dragon apes were rare and precious. They could be sold for up to 100 million if they were auctioned off. As for why it was so expensive, he didn't know. He only found out when he chatted with Zhang Sijing. Not only the violet gold dragon ape, even the other dragon beast are very precious. However, Chen Shang had changed his appearance, his flying speed was extremely fast, and at the moment, he was not the only one fighting to pick up the dragon beast's corpse. Even the heaven realm and 3 profound practitioners were unable to do anything to them. Juniors, quickly leave this place. The heaven realms are also leaving. We are enough here, you little things are here, we cannot use our limbs. A calm voice suddenly rang out, making everyone feel as if they were being pressed down by a mountain. Such power caused everyone to tremble in fear, and they all quickly retreated from the area. Chen Shang picked up the fiercest ones, and he could also fly, so fast that he could pick up good dragon beast corpses first. It's about time, retreat. Chen Shang was also worried that he would be affected by the three profound rankers' battle power and quickly left the battlefield. Previously, Chen Shang was being watched by a few Heaven Realm S, but when he became vigilant, he blended into the crowd and used counter-power stealth and flew away at the same time. Chapter 2715. The walls of the Myriad Dao city were struck by the dragon beast and all the houses in the area were severely injured. Fortunately, all the people here were able to escape in time, so the casualties weren't too serious. Most of the people at the edge of the city were quite poor. They knew that this kind of thing would often happen here, so once something like this happened, they would run towards the center of the city as fast as they could. After Chen Shang flew for a while, he looked behind him. There, it had become a sea of fire, countless of lightning bolts continued to descend, releasing waves of angry thunder roars, bringing about a wave of violent winds, bringing about a scorching chi wave that swept through the entire city. These three profound experts seem to be very restrained, and their strengths are not only limited. They also suppress their power because they are worried that it will affect the Myriad Dao city. Chen Shang continued to fly towards his Meijing store. On the way, he saw Tai Bo and Tai Bao, they were also flying back to the center of the city. Elders, what's going on? Why would there suddenly be an attack from Dragon Beast? Chen Shang asked. The existence of the Dragon Beast was a mystery to him, and for the Dragon Beast to attack on such a large scale, there must be some secret. It had to be known that the Dragon Beast were of all kinds. It was impossible for them to gather together in the first place, and they even killed each other frequently. I don't know. It should be the Myriad Dao's divine steel that lured those Dragon Beast here, but a brat like you is quite bold. To think that you actually ran over there as well. Tai Bao could feel the presence of the Dragon Beast from Chen Zhang's body, and knew that Chen Shang had gone to pick up the corpse, and smiled. Right, you're already so rich, and you still want to fight with others. Hee, you sure are greedy. Tai Bo laughed. I originally only wanted to join in the fun, but seeing so many Dragon Beast corpses on the ground, I thought it was a waste, so I picked some up. If I didn't pick them up, they would have been destroyed by now. Chen Shang said. When the three profound experts attacked, there was definitely not much left of the corpses of those Dragon Beast. The ones that remained were those very powerful Dragon Beast, naturally the three profound experts and the others. Why did the Myriad Dao's divine steel be able to attract the Dragon Beast over? Has something like this happened before? Chen Shang was currently standing on top of a tall building, looking at the area far away where the thunderbolts from the fire cloud had enveloped. It was also because there were three profound practitioners participating that everyone was so at ease. Currently, there were quite a few people standing on top of other people's roofs watching the battle. In the past, even though there were a few attacks by Dragon Beast, they were always able to obstruct outside the city walls. This is the first time the city walls have been breached, so it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Tai Bao frowned, he was confused. I have to go back and ask. That's right. The 7 great villas and the 3 great sects are all outside the city. There are so many Dragon Beast gathering here, but they actually didn't discover it. Tai Bo also found it hard to understand. This was because they had already known about the attacks of the Dragon Beasts in the past. Was the reason why they attacked the city earlier also for the Myriad Dao's divine steel? Chen Shang asked. Yes, as to why they have come for the Myriad Dao's divine steel, we are also not clear. Such a great commotion must definitely be because of the Myriad Dao's divine steel. Who knows what kind of power the Myriad Dao's divine steel may have generated to attract this group of Dragon Beast. Tai Bo said. These Dragon Beasts seem to be under someone's command. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gathered together and attacked in such an orderly fashion. Chen Shang felt that there must be something fishy about it. Who could secretly command these Dragon Beasts? We have studied Dragon Beast for many years, but have been unable to discover anything. We only know that these Dragon Beast evolved after absorbing the ancient dragon's Dao energy, and that the Dragon Beast that reproduce later on can also control the primordial dragon's Dao energy. Tai Bao shook his head. Let's return to the villa and ask. There has never been such a serious matter. The villa definitely knows something. Tai Bo said. Afterwards, the two brothers left the city on the other side of Myriad Dao City and returned to Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. These Dragon Beasts are definitely related to dragons. As for the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa and the Azure Dragon, they might even know about dragons. In this place, if there's a phoenix, it's impossible for there to be no dragons. Chen Shang felt more and more that the existence of these Dragon Beasts was related to some big secret. Chen Shang could sense Feng Rushui's position now and remembered him. He quickly returned to the Meijing store. Jiang Ximei was also here. When she heard the bell sound, she was extremely worried about her grandmother, and had rushed to find Feng Rushui at that time, but she never expected that Feng Rushui had already brought Grandma Jiang back. Then, when she found out that Chen Shang was rushing towards that group of dragon beast, she started to worry about Chen Shang again. "What's the situation over there?" Feng Rushui asked. "A few three profound experts have made their moves, and all of the heaven realms have been yelled out by them. They should be able to calm down soon." Chen Shang looked at the direction that was continuously blushing. To be able to get three profound practitioners to attack, it should be the appearance of a heavenly spirit dragon beast. Feng Rushui said. Heavenly spirit dragon beast. Chen Shang and Jiang Ximei were both very suspicious, because they had never heard of it before. It's a humanoid dragon beast. When a dragon beast cultivates a heavenly spirit, it can transform into a human, but it's still very easy to identify them. A few three profound practitioners must have been attacked by a few heavenly spirit dragon beast. This should be the largest siege in the history of Myriad Dao City. Although she was not very strong, but she had a very good understanding of these things. Then Grandma Jiang, do you know why these dragon beasts came here? Feng Rushui was also very surprised, because not everyone knew about these things. Grandma Jiang looked at the direction of the lightning in the distance and said, it should be because of the evolution of the Myriad Dao's divine steel. Feng Rushui suddenly thought of something, and exclaimed, last time, when the Myriad Dao divine steel evolved, the dragon beast attacked the heavenly refining and sword Dao rules, but that time, it was killed outside the city. Yes, once the Myriad Dao divine steel evolves, dragon beast will attack it. And with the scale this time, it means that the Myriad Dao divine steel has become even more powerful after evolving. Grandma Jiang nodded. Grandma, what will happen to the Myriad Dao divine steel? Jiang Ximei asked. It's definitely related to dragon beast. All the dragon beast will only care so much. I don't know now, but it'll be clear in a few days. It's just that in a normal situation like this, a few people would be needed to activate the new laws that have evolved from the Myriad Dao's divine steel. Last time, it was a few guys from the Heavenly Dao sect who activated a new power of law. Who knows who it will be this time? The Grandma Jiang said. What kind of law would the new rule be? If no one comes to activate it, wouldn't we know what kind of law it is? Chen Shang was also very curious. No, once the Myriad Dao divine steel evolves, then the new power of law will definitely be activated. We just need to wait and see. Grandma Jiang laughed. Brat, you just came back from that place, and fished out a lot of good things. What did you get? Everyone here could feel the evil aura coming from Chen Zhang's body. Chapter 2716. Chen Shang had indeed managed to obtain quite a lot of Dragon Beast S, and also the rare purple gold dragon ape. He could earn quite a lot of Dao Crystal S by himself, so even if the Dragon Beast S were to be sold, it would not increase his income by much. The Dragon Beast's body contained a primordial Dao of dragon energy, that was the Dragon Dao laws. He was very curious about the Dao of dragon laws, so he wanted to see if he could extract a bit of the power of the Dao of dragon laws to condense the law beads. If he could, he would also be able to cultivate in the Dao of the dragon. The power of the laws of the Dao of the dragon was also very strong, so possessing it wouldn't be a bad thing. I just took advantage of the chaos to pick up a few dragon beasts' corpses. They aren't anything precious. Chen Shang laughed. Since the three mysterious experts have made their move, they shouldn't have been attacked here, right? Jiang Ximei was a little worried. She really liked this Meijing store. She didn't want him to be destroyed by the dragon beast. If the dragon beast were to reach here, Chen Zhang's pills would not be easy to sell, and would affect Chen Zhang's business. Jiang Ximei had only been relying on Chen Shang for a few days to cultivate and become a dead rule Dao line, and if she wanted to cultivate more rare Dao veins, she would still have to rely on Chen Shang. On her own, she didn't know how long it would take. Definitely not. The distance from here to the Myriad Dao's divine steel is very close. The main shops of the 7 Great Villa are all near the Myriad Dao's divine steel. There is a great power hidden inside. Once the dragon beast approaches, they will definitely take action. Tai Bo laughed. You can relax. Chen Shang was also relieved. The aftershocks of the battle were gradually weakening. It should be because quite a number of powerful heavenly spirit dragon beast had been killed. I'm going to refine some pills. Chen Shang immediately ran into the secret room, took out the corpses of the dragon beast and stuffed them inside, then he began to refine them. When he came to the Myriad Dao city, he met an old man. That old man had specially extracted the primordial dragon's Tao energy from the dragon beast and sold it. Therefore, Chen Shang felt that if he could obtain a large amount of dragon beast-s, he would definitely be able to refine them into dragon law rule beads. The corpse of the dragon beast was hard to refine, but the dragon beast was extremely tasty. When Chen Shang had placed more than 10 corpses of the dragon beast into the Chuangshi God furnace to refine, he had the urge to take them out and eat them. He had eaten the meat of dragon wolf before, and the deliciousness and excellent taste had left him with an endless amount of aftertaste. These dragon beast all should have obtained the inheritance of the ancient code, so they could have the characteristics of a dragon even if they were born. The power they use is also about the same as a dragon's, only a little weaker than a dragon. Previously, when Chen Shang traversed the forest of dragon beast, he had come into contact with these dragon beast for a period of time, so he had a better understanding of the situation. My current flames are pretty strong. Previously, when I was roasting these dragon wolf, it was already rather difficult. Now that I have directly refined these dragon beast, my speed is surprisingly fast. When Chen Shang refined it, he burned everything in the dragon beast's body. The skin and bone scales were extremely difficult to burn in the first place, but the Chuangshi God furnace could strengthen the flames, making the process of Chen Shang refining it much easier. 6 hours had passed and Chen Shang took a deep breath. The Chuangshi God furnace was currently filled with a golden mist. The mist rose and fell as if it was struggling, and the golden flames would sometimes take the shape of a dragon and fly into the sky. It was truly a miraculous sight. This is primordial Tao of dragon energy. Let's see if I can refine it into a law beads. Chen Shang felt that this should not be a problem. He had already reached this step. Soon, he used the method of concocting pills to condense this wave of primordial Tao energy into a pill. Done. He took out the pellet and carefully examined it. There was the scent of a law beads and he almost ate it. With the feeling of a law beads, I should be able to form a Tao meridian. Chen Shang immediately forced the power of the Dragon Way law that was blossoming into the pill furnace and then continued refining. He wanted to use the crash method to refine it. Very quickly, he had completed several crashes and reached his limit before he could stop. You can eat it now. After Chen Shang ate it, he began to refine it into a flame Tao vein. While he was refining it, he was also estimating the effects of this dragon law rule beads. This allowed him to estimate how many law beads were needed. It only took him 4 hours to completely bind it. What a powerful effect! What is going on? Chen Shang was ecstatic, because he felt that he would only need 10 pills to cultivate up to a dragon's Tao meridian. The dragon beast corpses that I picked up are more or less enough for me to cultivate to a dragon's Tao meridian. Following that, Chen Shang began to crazily refine all of the dragon beast's corpses into law beads s. After refining all of the dragon beast's corpses, he had already refined 10 of them. There are also 2 violet gold dragon apes. These are good stuff. When we go out, I would like to ask the Grandma Zhang about their uses. When Chen Shang walked out of the secret room, he originally wanted to look for Grandma Zhang, but he found out that Grandma Zhang had already returned to her shop. After all, the old people were nostalgic, and sometimes they just didn't want to leave the familiar place that he was at. Mei, if we were to sell the law beads without permission, would we be allowed to? Chen Shang suddenly thought of a way to earn more Tao crystal. He was worried that there would be trouble. Jiang Ximei immediately thought of something when she heard Chen Zhang's question. She knew that Chen Shang could refine law beads into higher quality ones, 4 pellets at a time. If he bought the law beads and refined it into a high-quality item for sale, he would definitely make a huge profit. No, law beads are the main source of earning Tao crystal for the 7 Great Villa. Even though it's rushing snow, they wouldn't dare to do such a thing. Jiang Ximei shook her head. It was not like she had never thought about this before. They had used the Tao crystal S to exchange for the law beads S from the myriad Tao's divine steel, and then added them to the Tao crystal S to sell. They had earned a lot over the years. If Chen Shang also joined, he would definitely stir up the interests of the 7 Great Villas and they would definitely join hands to eliminate him. This kind of thing should wait until we have the strength to do it. Chen Shang sighed. Jiang Ximei nodded. Mei, can you purchase some dragon beast s? I have great use for them. Chen Shang suddenly lowered his voice. I can use dragon beast s to refine into dragon law rule beads s. Do you want to cultivate the dragon path laws? Of course I want to. The power of the Tao of Dragon is extremely strong. When Jiang Ximei heard it, he was also pleasantly surprised. Chen Shang gave her some Tao crystal s and told her to go buy some corpses. Of course, Chen Zhang's main purpose was still to sell the law beads. He planned to sell them when the time came. He had only sold 1 dragon law rule beads as the equivalent of 10, so if he bought the 10 from the 7 Great Villa, he would still need to sell 900 million of these law beads. But if he sold it for 800 million, there would definitely be someone willing to buy it for him. It wouldn't be long before he had 10 billion Dao crystal. Thinking up to here, Chen Shang couldn't help but smile. Even though he was only thinking about it, as long as he thought about it, he would turn it into reality. Chapter 2717. Chen Shang returned to the secret room and continued refining the Dragon Law Rule beads. In a few days, he managed to cultivate the Tao of Dragon Meridian. He secretly circulated the Tao energy. It was powerful indeed. With the addition of his primitive Tao power, the force emitted, it caused the entire room to tremble. There's still one more, let me give it a try. Chen Shang still had a single Dragon Law Rule beads left. After he walked out of the secret room, he saw Jiang Ximei. There's still one left. Try and refine it. Chen Shang handed the Dragon Law Rule beads over to Jiang Ximei. This is the dragon beast that I bought. The 200 million Dao crystal that you gave me have all been used up. Jiang Ximei said, this should be enough to refine how many Dragon Law Rule beads. I don't know yet, but I won't lose anything. Chen Shang laughed mischievously, this is our true way of making a fortune. Jiang Ximei wanted to say something, but she did not say it. She was very clear about Chen Zhang's feelings. After all, he had the method to quickly earn Dao Crystal S in his hands, and it was just that he could not use it. Anyone would be very sad. Chen Shang took the corpses of the dragon beast and immediately entered the secret room. He stayed there for a few days and refined all of the corpses into Dragon Law Rule beads. The corpses of 200 million Dao Crystal were able to refine 2 super high-quality Dragon Law Rule beads. This can be sold for at least 750 million, which is 1.5 billion. So it's a windfall. 1. Ben. Read. Fiction XSTXT. Chen Shang looked at the 2 Dragon Law Rule beads S and was excited in his heart. Dao crystal were like ores, they could be dug out, but that would be extremely hard to find. Furthermore, it would take a lot of effort to dig them out, and other than that, it would take time to condense them using his own Dao power. Most people's Dao crystal come through these 2 channels, and after accumulating so much over time, they could accumulate quite a bit, and then use it to purchase something, or to exchange it for law beads from the myriad Dao's divine steel. Other than those great powers, it was not easy for many people to earn Dao crystal. Therefore, even if Chen Shang did not sell the law beads, just by selling them through alchemy, the speed at which he earned Dao crystal was much faster than many rankers. I need to refine some Tianyun Gold Dan for Ruizu and the 2 seniors. Chen Shang had already rested for a period of time, and now that he had cultivated both the Flying Dao and the Dragon's Dao Meridians, for many people, this was definitely something impossible, but Chen Shang was able to do it. In the next 10 days, Chen Shang only refined 200,000 Tianyun Gold Dan. Because he had plans to sell the law beads, he did not want to tire himself so much. With 200,000 Tianyun Gold Dan, he could also obtain 400 million. I can cultivate the spatial laws very quickly. I only need 2.5 billion Dao crystal. I already have 800 million. Chen Shang counted the Dao crystal in his hands, the target getting closer and closer. This is really shocking, to think that the dragon beast's corpse could have such a miraculous effect. Jiang Ximei had already cultivated up to the Dao of Dragon Meridian. The Dragon Law Rule Beads S were worth 100 million pills, and the Dragon Law Rule Beads exchanged from the myriad Dao Divine Steel required 100 pills to be able to cultivate up to the Dao of Dragon Meridian. Therefore, Jiang Ximei already possessed a 10 billion level Dao Meridian, which was much better than the 1 billion level she wanted previously. Jiang Xijing, on the other hand, did not have much of a goal, and only hoped that she had something to do. Ever since she managed to cultivate and revive her Dao Meridian, the speed at which she grew medicinal herbs was extremely fast. Chen Shang also asked her to take care of the eclipse tree. He might want to use it to refine a God Eclipse powder in the future. I've been busy these past few days. I should get some rest. Chen Shang was in Mei Jing's store, stretching his back. Jiang Xijing also came out from Yuyao Mountain Villa and started chatting with Jiang Ximei. Beautiful, how did the myriad Dao Divine Steel evolve? Are there any relevant news? Chen Shang asked. He was very curious about this. The myriad Dao Divine Steel was also an extremely mysterious existence. It could actually absorb the Dao crystal's energy and then condense a bunch of them. There were also many rare laws. Not yet, but I heard that there was a group of strange people who came to Myriad Dao City. I don't know who that group of people were, but they were very strong. Jiang Sime said. Strong mysterious person. Chen Xiang was also very interested in this. It seems that I have to ask them when the other two seniors come. Just as Chen Xiang finished speaking, Tai Bo and Tai Bao came over. They had just come over this morning and had bought 100,000 Tianyun gold dan pills from Chen Xiang. It hadn't been long since they arrived, so something must have happened. Seeing the two elders' faces, Chen Xiang knew that something bad had happened. Seniors, what's wrong? Jiang Sime hurriedly poured tea for them and asked. Something terrible has happened. Tai Bao drank a mouthful of tea abruptly. We just arrived from the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, something big has happened. Chen Xiang, quickly leave Mei Jing's store and hide at Feng Rushui's place. Quote. What the hell is going on? Chen Xiang was very shocked. He knew that there must be some kind of powerful force that even Tai Bao and Tai Bo could not protect him with. Sorry, this time someone came to cause trouble for you, and we can't take it either. That guy's strength is too strong, even the Manor Lord was injured by him. Tai Bo said, he knew you were an alchemy genius and wanted to completely control you. Could it be those mysterious people? Jiang Sime anxiously said. It's not the group of mysterious people from Myriad Dao City, but it has something to do with this group of people. Tai Bao said, an old ancestor of our Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa suddenly came back. He came back from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. This old ancestor went to the Myriad Dao Mausoleum but did not come back, and he does not have a pearl of life. Whether he lives or dies is unknown. But many years have passed and we all felt that he had already died, so we chose a new villa master. Who would have thought that he would suddenly return and take back the position of the Manor Lord? The Manor Lord also agreed to give it to him, but he was worried that if he refused to accept it, the Manor Lord would be injured on the spot. Tai Bo said. Did those mysterious people from the Myriad Dao City return from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum? Jiang Sime immediately thought of something. That group of people were all very strong. To be able to return alive from Myriad Dao Mausoleum, they definitely were not weak. Yes, quickly go to the Snow Pavilion. With Phoenix Mountain Villa protecting him, that fellow doesn't dare to act rashly. The old Phoenix of Phoenix Mountain Villa is very powerful right now, a ranker at the same level as our ancestor. Tai Bo said. From now on, this will be the end of our cooperation. This time, we won't be able to protect you, it's our fault, this is the Dao crystal that compensated you. Quote. Two old men, forget it, although we cannot cooperate, we are still friends. You can have these Dao crystal. You all have to be careful of that old ancestor. Chen Xiang rejected her. Tai Bo and Tai Bao sighed. Although Chen Xiang always called them senior, they had always treated Chen Xiang as a friend. Chen Xiang brought Jiang Sime and Jiang Sijing and hurried over to the Snow Pavilion. Only after arriving at the Snow Pavilion and seeing Feng Rushui did he feel a lot more at ease. The Cyan Sparrow was here as well. Brother Bluebird, long time no see. Chen Xiang immediately smiled and greeted her. It could tell that he was not in a good mood. Chen Xiang was secretly worried that he would be like the Phoenix Mountain Villa. Chapter 2718. Feng Rushui walked down from the stairs. Originally, her expression was the same as the Cyan Sparrow, but when she saw Chen Xiang, she revealed a charming and sweet smile. Young Master Shen, you guys came. Please take a seat, Feng Rushui said as he walked down. After Chen Xiang and Mei Jing's sisters sat down, they went straight to the point. If anything happens to Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, I can't cooperate with him anymore. Chen Xiang said, you guys should also know a bit about this. Feng Rushui and the Cyan Bird looked at each other, then nodded. Yes, the Patriarch of Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa has returned and injured the current Villa Master. With his immense power, he controls the entire Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. From what we know, this Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa has always been a person with a bad temper. We don't even know if he will become our enemy in the future. The Cyan Sparrow said. If that old fellow wants to control Chen Xiang, will your Phoenix Mountain Villa be able to protect Chen Xiang? Jiang Sime asked straightforwardly. If Phoenix Mountain Villa was unable to do so, they would have to escape from this place as soon as possible. Feng Rushui did not say anything, and lowered his head slightly. On the other hand, the Cyan Bird's face was full of guilt, because this was not something that they could decide. Chen Xiang sighed helplessly. Back then, he had thought that the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa and the Phoenix Mountain Villa were the strongest allies, but now that he had encountered such a thing, they became like this. Jiang Ximei was a little angry, but she saw that Chen Shang was very calm at the moment. 1. Ben. Read it. Fiction MYBDU. Say more. When we found out about this, we had already implored our elders in the Phoenix Mountain Villa to come. However, they were worried about offending the old ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, so they were unwilling to protect you no matter what. The Cyan Sparrow said with great guilt. Feng Rushui took out a storage bag and said, "This is your compensation." "And mine." The Cyan Sparrow took out the storage bag s. Chen Shang waved his hand and said, "These Dao Crystal are definitely not Phoenix Mountain Villas, they should be your own Dao Crystal. You guys definitely won't get much of the Dao Crystal that Phoenix Mountain Villa earned by selling my pills." Quote. "Young Master Shen, accept it. This way, our hearts will feel a little better." Feng Rushui pleaded, looking at Chen Shang with eyes full of guilt. "All right." Chen Shang heaved a long sigh and accepted their compensation. Chen Shang did not have any hatred towards Feng Rushui and Qing Ke. After all, their strength was limited, and cooperating with them was for the convenience of the beginning. Right, after the myriad Dao's divine steel evolved, the new law of creation is the spirit transformation law. Feng Rushui said. She remembered that Chen Shang was extremely curious about this previously. That's why there were so many powerful heavenly spirit dragon beasts that came to attack the city. They wanted to obtain the power of the spirit transformation law, so that more dragon beasts would turn into human forms. This way, they would be able to have a strong power. The bluebird added. "So, who activated this rule?" Chen Shang asked again. "It's a person from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, you can't say that it's a human but a beast type. Otherwise, it's impossible to activate such a law," the Cyan Sparrow said. "Oh right, young Master Shen, among the people that came out from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, there are some that are opposing the ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. Even now, we do not understand those people well enough, so we will help you investigate those people and see if they are good people," Feng Rushui said. Chen Shang nodded his head. "Then I will take my leave. I am worried that the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa will send people over." "You must be careful." She was very worried for Chen Shang. Chen Shang smiled slightly, then left the snow pavilion with Mei Jing sisters. Jiang Ximei and Jiang Sijing had both entered the Yuyao Mountain Villa, and Chen Shang had also changed his appearance. He was mixed in the crowd. He did not plan to leave the Myriad Dao City, he still needed to cultivate spatial laws and other rare rule Dao line. At the same time, he also wanted to find out the origins of the group of people from Myriad Dao Mausoleum. If one of them was a mortal enemy of the old ancestor of Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa and was strong enough, then he would give it a try and see if he could cooperate with him. The news was spread very quickly, and the entire Myriad Dao city knew of the mysterious people who had returned from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Chen Shang came to Grandma Yang's shop, wanting to ask her if she knew about these things. After the Grandma Zhang found out about Chen Zhang's current situation, he consoled, "Chen Shang, you don't have to worry. Although that ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa is strong, he still has many opponents. It's just that you never want to offend other forces, especially the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, which is why I gave up cooperating with you." Quote. "Then grandmother, do you know the background of those people who came out of Myriad Dao Mausoleum?" Chen Shang asked. He felt that this Grandma Zhang was extremely mysterious, and must know something. They all entered the Myriad Dao Mausoleum at the same time period, and that was also the worst loss they had ever suffered in the history of the Myriad Dao city. The majority of the experts did not return, but the experts never expected that they would return safely after so many years, and their strength had even increased by a lot. One of them had a grudge with the ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. He was one of the three great figures of the Myriad Dao back then. I wonder if he had returned. Grandma Zhang took out a piece of paper. On it was a drawing of a middle-aged man with a full beard. This is one of the three great individuals, Shui Yunshang, who is sworn enemies with the ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, Wang Long. The Grandma Zhang said. "All right, I'll see if I can find him." Chen Shang nodded. He had already memorized the person in the portrait in his mind. Back then, the three heroes of the Myriad Dao all had their own small gangs, but because the three of them were gone and not to return, the small gangs gradually declined as well. Grandma Zhang laughed. "Maybe they are thinking of buying a new soldier from the new one, you can go and try." "Grandma, as far as I know, there are a lot of guys who came back. Are they all big shots from this side?" Chen Shang suddenly felt that the Myriad Dao city was becoming more and more lively. Yes, but back then, their forces weren't as strong as the 7 great villas, so they couldn't control the myriad Dao's divine steel. It's hard to say now, the 3 great doors are also getting ready to move and fight for control of the myriad Dao divine steel. It will definitely be very lively next. The Grandma Zhang laughed. Quickly go and check if Shui Yunshang has returned. He's not a bad person. After Chen Shang found out about this from the Grandma Zhang, he hurriedly left the shop to find out where the group of people who returned from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum were. Not long after the dragon beast attacked, someone from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum returned. It was impossible for there to not be a connection among them, and many people thought the same. It had been less than a year since the opening of the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Chapter 2719. Chen Shang went to a shop in the city, where many people were lining up outside the main street. Seeing that, he immediately went to ask. With a single question, he realized that this was a ranker returning from Myriad Dao Mausoleum who was recruiting. These fellows should be cultivating their own forces to become stronger and have more authority here. Chen Shang also found out that these people had returned, and did not have any powerful forces by their side. Right now, they did not want to form any huge forces, but to find a gang or something to help him. The place they were recruiting at right now was not Shui Yunshang, so Chen Shang was not interested in them. The only thing he wanted to do now was to find Shui Yunshang and chat with him when he had the chance. Chen Shang walked on the street for a long time, but he did not manage to find any news regarding Shui Yunshang. The people here did not know about many things from the past, like the people of Grandma Zhang. And this Shui Yunshang seemed to be extremely low-key as well, as he did not even reveal his own power. Until night fell, Chen Shang still did not have any leads, so he could only return to Grandma Yang's shop. Zhang Simei and Zhang Sijing also came out from Yuyao Mountain Villa. You guys stay with the Grandma Zhang for this period of time. I'll go out of the city to ask around. There's a group of people that have returned from the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, but they didn't enter the city and instead stayed outside the city. Chen Shang said that Shui Yunshang might be outside the city. With me here, nothing will happen to them. Grandma Zhang said. She did not seem strong, but from the looks of it, she was not an ordinary person. Chen Shang didn't want to bring them along because he was worried that he would encounter a dangerous situation that would affect them. Right now, he was being watched by an extremely strong fellow, and there was also a grudge between him and the Western Tiger Mountain Villa. Although he was being extremely careful, he was still worried that the other party would find him. After changing his appearance, Chen Shang left Myriad Dao City very carefully. Although the Myriad Dao City was protected by a city wall or something of the sort, they were still broken through by the dragon beast last time. Moreover, many of the large powers were not in the Myriad Dao City. If Shui Yunshang wants to establish his own powerful forces, he might just stay outside. Since the Grandma Zhang highly values this person, then he must be very capable. Chen Shang guessed in his heart. It was late at night, and there were a lot of people outside the city. Some of them wanted to enter the Dragon Beast Forest to kill Dragon Beast, while some others wanted to go to a place outside of Peace City. It was a small village. In the past, this group of strong warriors would gather at these places outside of the city. They were powerful and did not need to be afraid of the Dragon Beast's attacks. Now, this group of people had returned, but the power of the gangs they had previously formed had long since disintegrated. Seeing the 7 great villas soaring into the sky like the sun, they definitely wouldn't let the matter rest. Moreover, they were currently very much relying on the Myriad Dao Divine Steel. Chen Shang had heard that in the future, he would have to continue to improve his strength through the Myriad Dao Divine Steel. The Myriad Dao Divine Steel was not only able to cultivate Dao veins, it also had other uses. As Chen Shang was walking along the road, a short man suddenly walked over and asked, "Fellow brother, have you heard of this Shui Yunshang person before? He isn't in the village ahead." This made Chen Shang feel that it was funny, because he wanted to find someone to ask Shui Yunshang, but he did not expect that someone would actually come and ask him. He sized up this man. His eyebrows were like swords, and his eyes were like stars. His skin was fair. "I've heard of it. I came here because of my reputation." Chen Shang laughed. He was now a middle-aged man, and the man was extremely courteous to him. "Really? But it doesn't look like it. You seem to have used some mysterious method to change your appearance." The man smiled. Chen Shang was alarmed, his face also changed. He didn't expect that the person before him would actually be able to see through his transformation technique. To be honest, the main reason is that I have many enemies in my family, and now that I have left the Myriad Dao City, I have no choice but to do so. Please forgive me. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he walked towards the forest. If he wanted to go to the small village, he had to go through the forest. Chen Shang walked quickly, and the man followed closely behind. If you are in the martial arts world, you will inevitably offend some enemies. This is also for your own safety. I am truly sorry for exposing you earlier. The man smiled apologetically. Are you going to look for Shui Yunshang? Chen Shang asked. Yes, to tell you the truth, Shui Yunshang is my grandfather. My name is Shui Qing, and I am the son of Shui Yunshang's third son. Shui Qing said. Shui Yunshang's grandson definitely wasn't young. This meant that his strength was definitely not weak. Of course, Chen Shang didn't completely believe that he was Shui Yunshang's grandson. It seems like you are going to look for Shui Yunshang as well. Shui Qing laughed. I'll go with you. When I was young, I met my grandfather once, and also inherited the Shui clan's divine arts, so he will definitely recognize me. Chen Shang also could not see through Shui Qing's strength, although Shui Qing knew that he had disguised his appearance, but he did not know of his appearance, so he was sure that he did not know that he was the pill-refining genius. Yes, I heard that Shui Yunshang was one of the 3 great heroes of the Myriad Dao at that time. He was a straightforward person, had great righteousness, and was a great hero. Chen Shang said. So it's like that. I wonder who your enemy is, to be able to force you to submit to Shui Yunshang. Shui Qing asked again. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, Chen Shang said. Shui Qing heard and nodded. He seemed to understand his grandfather very well. Didn't you say that your grandfather still accepted me? Chen Shang asked. Although my grandfather is a good person, not everyone can take him in. What if you are a big bad person and you are also very weak? Shui Qing laughed. In that case, when the time comes, your grandfather will probably get an assessment or something, right? Asked. He was only asking, but he did not plan to have Shui Yunshang take him in. He only wanted to work with Shui Yunshang to earn Dao Crystal S under his protection. I don't know either. I'll only know when I see him, but it's fate that I meet you here. When the time comes, I'll help you. Shui Qing said. Brother Shui, your strength shouldn't be weak. You are Shui Yunshang's grandson, so you must have lived for a very long time. Seeing that Shui Qing was easy to talk to, Chen Shang boldly asked. I guess my strength is still only barely strong. I'm only in the middle stage of the heaven realm. Shui Qing sighed. It's mainly because when I followed my father to the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, not only did I not get any good things, I was even injured and my cultivation stagnated for a while back then. Myriad Dao Mausoleum is indeed dangerous. Chen Shang said. Then what about your father, why didn't he come with you? Chapter 2720. He has already died in the Myriad Dao Mausoleum. Shui Qing's expression was calm, it could be seen that he had already opened his mouth, and this matter had also happened many years ago. Maybe he'll be like your grandpa and come out after a while. Chen Shang consoled. That won't happen. Even my grandfather and the others didn't have such a thing as a pearl of life, but my father did, and it's already broken. Shui Qing laughed bitterly. When I first entered the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, I had already mentally prepared myself for that. Oh right, Brother Shui, do you think your grandfather's current strength can be stronger than that old ancestor of the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa? Chen Shang changed the topic and asked. It's hard to say. If they all increased their strength in the Myriad Dao Mausoleum, then it should be on par with them. After all, at their level, it would be difficult to pull apart the distance. Shui Qing shook his head. But, if there was any conflict between my grandfather and the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, my grandfather would definitely lose. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa has a large number of people. These words made Chen Shang a little worried. He was worried that Shui Yunshang would not be able to cover him. He thought about it carefully. Shui Yunshang had just returned from Myriad Dao Mausoleum. He was sure that he was weak now, unlike the old ancestor who was going to control the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa. The elders in the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa were still very strong, and there was a strong expert amongst them who held one of the powers in control of the Myriad Dao's divine steel. Shui Yunshang did not recruit any troops from the city because he was afraid that the Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa would cause trouble, so he chose to stay in the small village outside. Chen Shang and Shui Qing chatted as they arrived at the small village. Although it was late at night, the village was bustling with noise and excitement. The place was filled with people. Although the place was very simple and crude, The people gathered here were drinking and swearing loudly. It was very lively and filled with joy. What is this? Chen Shang was suspicious. It was the same for Shui Qing. It was as if there was a gathering here. There were more than 1,000 people here, and all of them looked like brute force brutes. However, they were currently drinking, eating, and laughing in a very heroic manner. Do you want to come as well? An old man sitting on a table in front of them saw Chen Shang and shouted. Chen Shang and Shui Qing walked over. Chen Shang was extremely accustomed to this kind of situation. Although Shui Qing was dressed neatly, he did not resist at all in this place where alcohol was splattered. He and Chen Shang walked over and sat on a stone chair that was dripping with alcohol. Come, come, come. Drink, drink. Even the enemies of our head Shui must first drink a few bowls of wine. The old man poured wine for Chen Shang and the others. Hearing the old man's words, Chen Shang and Shui Qing were extremely happy, because they were sure that Shui Yunshang was here. I wonder if us juniors can go meet your head Shui. We have admired him for a long time. Shui Qing did not directly say that he was Shui Yunshang's grandson. Just now, he had also sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, telling him not to say it for the time being. Of course you can, but you have to drink. The old man laughed out loud. Those who have come today are guests, and can see our head Shui. Old mister, is Senior Shui preparing to do something earth-shattering? Otherwise, he wouldn't be so grand today. Chen Shang asked. Of course, we've already been serving wine and having a feast here for a few days. If you have the time, you can also eat and drink here for a few days. The old man took a large dragon pig and laughed, eat, eat, eat. Chen Shang and Shui Qing looked at each other and laughed, then ate a bowl of it, and tore apart the entire dragon pig that was being roasted until it was fragrant. There was a lot of dragon beast meat here, so if you eat like this for a few days and nights, you would also need a lot. It could be seen how generous Shui Yunshang was. After eating his fill, the sky was about to brighten. Shui Qing wanted to go see Shui Yunshang very much, but the old man told him not to worry. He said that Shui Yunshang would come out after dawn. Chen Shang, on the other hand, was more patient. The wine here was good, and the meat was good. He ate and drank until he was satisfied, but here, he had no qualms about it. At dawn, a black shadow suddenly flew over and slowly landed on top of a roof. This person was dressed in black and had a robust and burly body. Although he was middle-aged, he was still very handsome. He had 2 strands of a beard on his mouth and had a hearty smile on his face. I, Shui, have arrived late. Please forgive me, heroes. The reason you are here today is because you think highly of me, Shui. Therefore, this jar of wine is for everyone. Shui Yunshang boldly drank and took out a big jar of wine, then poured it into his mouth. Once again, everyone raised their bowls and toasted as well, and waves after waves of toasts came out, filled with a heroic spirit. Chen Shang looked at Shui Qing and saw that he was extremely excited. After all, seeing his own grandfather was exactly like how the rumors said he was. After Shui Yunshang finished drinking, he threw the wine jar away and said, even though many of my brothers from back then have gone, I, Shui, have never forgotten about them. This jar of wine is for them. That year, Shui Yunshang had gone to the Myriad Dao Mausoleum and did not return, so his gang was subjected to many humiliations and had to be disbanded in the end. Some of them were even killed by someone. Chen Shang realized that many of the people here were people that had been with Shui Yunshang back in the day, which was why they were gathered here today. Eastern Dragon Mountain Villa, Western Tiger Mountain Villa, I, Shui, will definitely find them and take this opportunity while I'm not around to bully my brothers. If there are people from these 3 powers here, you all must tell those old fellows when you return that I, Shui, am still alive. Sooner or later, I will flatten all their villas. Shui Yunshang's voice was filled with grief and anger, and it resounded throughout the entire little village. Most of you are here to follow our head Shui, right? The old man beside Chen Shang asked. Of course we are, otherwise what would we be doing here? Right now, those villas are becoming more and more arrogant, and there are still those 3 big gates. If they were to control the myriad Dao's divine steel, they would definitely be much more powerful than the 7 big villas. That's right, Western Tiger Mountain Villa is especially tyrannical. The few small gangs under his banner are becoming more and more arrogant, but Western Tiger Mountain Villa just sat there and did nothing. We were bullied until we were miserable. And when we join another force, they would despise us for being weak. People like us who are weak and have no backers, we would suffer unspeakably in the myriad Dao city and get bullied all the time. I wonder if the head Shui will despise us. After Shui Yunshang heard this, he said in a clear voice, of course I won't hate you, but I won't accept trash, and I don't care if my power is low or weak, but you must prove that you are a person who is willing to work hard, who is ambitious, who is lazy, and that kind of villain. I, Shui, don't want any of them. I, Shui, do not guarantee that you will enjoy wealth and prosperity, but I promise that if you are my brothers, I will absolutely not allow you to be humiliated by those powers again.